Ah, la, da, da.
Back here, Shocker! Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the end!
To the ends of the earth! Shocker! Shocker! Hey guys, thank you for being very, very patient with me. As obviously, we're not known for being, it's one thing we're like 2, 3, maybe sometimes 4 minutes late, or if that on time. Tonight was a rare night where craziness was happening and nothing bad, all's good, just a lot is always going on here at the Weiser household. A lot. It's like every day is like an action movie in that sense. So I thank you all for your patience. Seems like a lot, luckily not too many of you were in, but the ones that did, thank you very much. And hail and shout out to all of you. It is the 82nd episode of the Comic Shop Talk, and this is the very first one in a very special edition of something we have never really done before. Like we've done reviews, we've done, storylines and arcs and runs, but we never done a like an individual issue week by week review type of thing. It's almost like we're treating it as if the book is coming out on a week by week basis and we're talking about it. And we're going to go into deep analyzation of said comic book story, aka the Infinity Gauntlet story, the absolutely legendary story from one Jim Starlin, of course, the late George Perez, may he rest in peace. And of course, later on, Ron Lim, a few other guys as well on the inks and the colors. We'll get to all those wonderful names, but this is a historical storyline, very significant in Marvel Comics, especially in a time where these books truly mattered. And considering that there are these very extremely popular movies, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, well, there's a lot of what was the comparisons, the differences and all that, and the Thanos motivations, a lot of stuff that was similar but different. And we'll be going over that throughout the weeks. We all got a lot to say before the show started. These guys were conversating their ears off about it. That's good. This is what we love. I'm like, let's save it for the show. This is what I like to say. I like the energy of what we're feeling between our panelists. That's what we want. So before bringing our fine gentlemen, we're going to acknowledge our crowd here. Keely Chow, D-Bud Martin, Guagnar, Diesel, how you doing? Billy Go Boom, how are you, sir? Nice to see you here. I'm so glad to have you here. 5 picoseconds, Fat Elvis, how you doing? Elizabeth Young, how's it going? Mass Grave, what's up? How you doing? The Common Nerd, hello, hello. Gonzalo Borgali, hello, hello. Nice to see all of you here. Thank you. And I saw a real quick comment I want to answer. Will you be covering the ongoing events of the Thanos quest? We just might. We'll be talking about that. I think we should. We'll talk amongst the group, and I know we can pull it off if we want to, need to, and I personally think we need to. So hail to all of you for being here right away. I love seeing this. So let's bring in our panelists here. We'll start off with Mr. Clobbering Times.
Where's Clobbering Time? What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, man. It's been a busy day, but it's all good. I'm feeling good, still feeling charged. How are you, my friend?
No, I'm here. That's good. That's all that matters. And I just got off of doing a stream with my buddy Dad Man.
Shout out to Dad Man. How'd that go, by the way? It was an NFL stream.
NFL stream. It was cool, and he's a good buddy, and he's a friend of both of ours. And yeah, hail Dad Man. It was a lot of fun. Talking about the crazy insanity of the NFL playoff picture, and other stuff.
Dude, awesome. That's what I like to hear, Club. I'm glad to know you're talking the football stuff.
Yeah, I like shouldn't, that. But I shouldn't. But Dad Man's a good buddy. So, hello there, chat, my good friends. Always good to see you. Welcome.
Hey, Red Shirt, how's it going? Thanks for being here. I'm assuming Matt's starting late on the cocktail on, so thanks for joining us before that gets going. Yes.
Sure.
All right, no, dude. I'm excited about talking this one because I reread this one twice in the last 24 hours, and it's just admiring it. I was admiring its physical form and its digital form, and dude, on the digital form, bro. Sure. Just saying, we'll get into it. I think we're at the goal straight up page by page with this one. This might be worth it for that. We'll be talking about it, but let's bring in our other gentleman
Sure.
backstage. Iron
Master.
I am inevitable.
Oh, are you?
Inevitable.
The cast. He cast that iron.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, dude, things are crazy lately. I was telling you a little bit about some of the other stuff I've kind of got my ears going in on. I got a stream I had going yesterday, so I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Love
Cool.
it. Love it.
I'm
love
going,
it. Love
I'm
it.
going to a con tomorrow, by the way. I can't believe it. It's the first time ever.
Ooh, nice.
It's a big one
Klobby
down
going
here in
to
New
a
Orleans.
con.
Weird, isn't it? ClobbyCon. No, it's not ClobbyCon.
Oh,
They did try to
I'd
name
go
it
to
after me. They tried to name it after me, but I didn't let them.
How
Just
dare
kidding.
they? How dare they? Nah, glad to have you here, Caster. This is gonna be a wild next few weeks. I can feel it, and this is just issue 1. It's just issue 1,
We're only in January.
and we're only in January of 2023, which is, by the way, guys, the first comic shop talk of 2023.
Oh, I love it.
Awesome. I love it too. And yes, ClobbyCon would be awesome, Billy. I agree wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Billy.
All
It'll
right,
happen
and
one day.
Before I bring in our other gentlemen here, shout out to Phantom Outsider and Steve Mitchum. How are you guys? Thanks for dropping in. And of course,
Yo, buddy.
one of the other wise men of the panel.
Howdy ho!
Shocker!
And I managed to say both without the hiccups. That worked.
Good.
That really
Well
worked.
done. Well
Yeah.
done.
How you doing, Pablo?
Oh, crazy beginning of the year. A lot of weird stuff have happened, but what can I say? It got really better after reading the Infinity Gauntlet, and I'll be honest, I'm way ahead. Like, I may have to revisit every single issue each week because, well, I have finished it twice.
Well, good. You want to read. This is the type of thing where us rereading these issues can help us digest it more, look for little nuances and details, whether it's in the art or interpreting, dialogue or little moments, small moments, big moments. We can admire splash pages. This is what's gonna be cool about doing this individual by individual, because we could dive our teeth deep in. These are not like your standard 20, 22 page issues with ads. These are like 35, 40 page issues too. So we're going to have some serious fun with all of these.
It begins classy. Let's just admit, this whole tale begins really classy. Stanley presents the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, it was a very Star Wars-esque sort of font to it. That
Yes.
it definitely fits the vibe of what they're going for. I think just the text font choice alone.
And fits the ego. Let's be honest. The only one with a bigger ego than Thanos is Stanley.
Yeah,
I was gonna say ego of the living planet.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
good. Phantom Outsider, I do see your question, and yes, that is actually first in terms of what happened in the storyline continuity. Maybe we'll talk about, maybe we want to do a minor backtrack and go into it. I'm not opposed to it. We'll talk to you guys, see what we say, but I think that's a great idea. We'll talk about during the show. You're gonna see once again another open meeting as we do the issues, because I would not be opposed to doing that. So, anyways, we're committed to issue 1. We're gonna have a great discussion tonight on this. Let's make this a next several weeks for. Let's make this the weeks for the ages type of deal. So, all right. And what's up, Daz Wolfen? I gotta get you on a Toxic Tuesday or something. How you doing, man? Thanks for dropping in. I know I was obviously with you in 70s last week on Talking Black Sabbath. That was very fun. So, okay, let's bring in here. Okay, there's Kindle. There's my Kindle. Yes. All right, I found you. And first, we'll start off with admiring This absolutely iconic cover.
Thanos Quest may have come out first, but still, you kind of got to go with doing it this way.
Yeah,
I mean, you know.
also they reference a bit of Thanos Quest here and there, but it's not that
Yeah.
important after a while. Well,
No, not compared
for
to this.
the
I mean,
yeah,
it's
for
good. It's
the
something to read. Yeah.
for the introduction of some of the characters or how they got into the story, for example, how the Silver Surfer got in mixed in everything, and yeah, you can go
Right.
to that, but it's not that necessary. You can actually start reading from issue one, and you don't need any of the other context because of the magnitude of the story. So it pulls you
Yeah.
right into it.
Into the thick of it. No, I could see Phantom Monster's point that I get
yeah,
it. You
yeah.
know, it's about getting the
Yeah.
full meal deal. He's that type of guy, which is good. That I like seeing those type of people in the chat. And obviously, he's someone who listens to the show, then obviously knows his books. So I do appreciate him, acknowledging that. No, it's one of those things though. Like even if you didn't read Quest, you could still jump into this and just still be able to figure out what's going on, which shows you how accessible this book is right off the bat.
Yeah.
It kind of does drop at a point where Thanos does already have the power, and I could see why. Like if this was written by let's just say a modern writer, you wouldn't know what's going on because nowadays
Mhm.
they don't think about continuity and how can I write this so in case they're jumping into this now they can
Right.
understand. That's the genius, I think, of Jim Starlin. But before I think the genius of Jim Starlin, can we just talk about how great this cover is right here?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
I love
this is
And
one of
this
George Perez's
iconic
finest covers.
yes,
Okay.
and
cover.
I'll let
just
you just
pull the
ask.
cover.
I was going to ask, was it in fact George Perez that also did
Yes.
the cover?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and that in this case, the full art of the cover.
Yes, and in the cover, they tell you everything that you need to know. You don't need to read anything else because the end begins here.
You don't even need to know what the Infinity Gems are at
It
this
just
point.
begins here. Yeah, and it literally does.
Yes, no, I love this cover. Like this is like this is like once again this is the type of thing that I like. If it was like a shirt I saw, I'd own the shirt. If it was a poster, I'd own the poster. Which I know there's posters that's come out of this before, but and it's great because like you get the idea of what's going on with this cover. You realize, okay, there's this guy Thanos. He's got this power, and you can tell that all these people from all these different walks of whether you're a superhero or the devil like Mephisto, or if you're a spy like a Fed agent like Nick Fury, you're all affected by it. So you get the idea that okay, everyone is at stake in this cover. That's what I see when I see this cover. Is that, and of course, God, it's so beautifully drawn, and I feel like George Perez's art, especially in Infinity Gauntlet, is eye candy to the absolute max. Some of the work he does in this stuff is it's almost too insane, like too insane. And this is the best tease for a page before it goes off into something quite, for lack of a better word, huge. Because it teases you, and like it's like it says there can be no denying it. You are
Yeah.
supreme.
And it
Anything
teases
you
you.
wish to be, you are. And those are heavy words. Heavy words here.
It teases you for the rest of the series, not only for this, because you have the Hulk on the cover. The Hulk appears in one page on issue one. You have already Destroyer, Star Fox, and Fire Lord. I don't remember the name of the other guy, but you basically have them already as a team. You have the people that will disappear. You have every situation covered. Captain America, I think he appears in issue 2. If I no, he appears in issue one when everybody is disappearing, and then So basically, they set everything up already on the cover. They say they tell you exactly where they are going. Even there's a part of the comic where you will go. Did I got it wrong? Did they misprint something? Because this cuts and goes somewhere else from nowhere, and it is on the cover. There's the people that appear on that page. They are in the cover.
Yes, this cover is not misleading one bit. What you see is what you literally get.
A rarity for comic book covers back then.
I know.
I would say Nick. Oh, good. Sorry.
I was
Go
just
ahead,
saying we're not giving you any fake outs on the cover. We're not going to try and tell you that one of these heroes will die. Well, maybe
A
not.
lot of them will.
All right. Before I say
Yeah.
we say anything else, what's up, Chris Mead? Chris Mead, your wish is granted. Fire Nice next week for Toxic Tuesday. It's gonna happen.
Dude.
And what's up, Crucible the Rainbow Knight? I see you there in the chat. All right. Klobby, I want to hear your perspective because obviously you were there then when this cover came out. What was it like to like see this cover? Like, I want your perspective. This is the one that this is where I get excited and get to be a fanboy here and hear it from your side of things.
What was the
Well,
what was the comic shop conversation like when this did come out?
Well, I'll tell you what, I was let's say this was 91ish. I was hanging out, I was helping a friend with a comic shop and doing other jobs. And but I was not buying Marvel at all at the time. And when I saw this cover and saw Perez was doing, I'm like, oh wow, I flipped out. Couldn't believe it. So of course, naturally I bought it. And I had not been reading current Marvel at the time. I was not particularly happy with it, but everyone was excited about it. I can tell you that much. It's just this cover is just such an eye catcher, and like we all talked about, it's a great cover. But I was going, my thing is, okay, it's a Perez cover, but let me see this sucker. Who's doing the interior? And of course, Jim Starlin writing, that's promising. Oh, Perez on the pencils. Now you had Joseph Rubinstein, one of the top inkers, and a guy named Tom Christopher who helped him out with who I don't know that much. The Rubinstein inking Perez is something definitely interesting to me because it's not something that I was all that used to. I mean, I guess he's inked him on some other stuff, but he is a very overpowering, he has, put it this way, he's a powerful inker. He's a power inker. He does a sensational job on Perez. You can see where Perez did not have, because Perez was not, maybe he was doing a lot of stuff at this point. So Rubinstein accounts for a lot of the art. But I can see going back, I was looking at a lot of these pages. Most of it is Rubinstein, but once in a while I could tell a page where he got this other guy to ink it. It's like, man, it stands out. So inking a great puncher like Perez, to have a great inker like Rubinstein on him makes the art in this book really off the chart great. There, like I said, there's a page here and there where I could tell Rubinstein didn't touch it. He had a little help. Later he does full issues though. And to see, well, all I can say to the fan who have not, anyone who's not read this, take Perez where you can get him because we don't have him for long. But it's beautiful. This is a beautiful piece of work by Perez.
Amazing. Agreed. Absolutely phenomenal piece of work.
And people were excited. We were all like, oh my God. First of all, again, a lot of the palpable excitement was the fact that it was a George Perez coming back to Marvel at the time. They didn't have a lot of really good artists. Let's face it, Perez had been away from them for a long time. Byrne had been back and forth. They'd been away from them a while. A lot of your more popular fan favorite artists were back and forth at Marvel. You had the Image artists were all before they became Image artists, or right around the time they were starting to break for Image. And so Marvel didn't have a lot of big heavy hitters of the art that much at that standpoint. But so to get Perez even to do a few issues of something was a pretty big deal at the time. And so, yeah, I was pretty excited about it.
I can see why. Like rereading this, like once again, like it just his work is just. This is like definitely like at least for me, like even though I'm not as aware and I've still been meaning to get to the Teen Titans of Perez and really get myself caught up on it from what I've seen of Perez, this feels like definitely a lot of stuff that he does on here stands out. Like it really stands out. And I can see why you were surprised that they got him for more than just the cover, because his work shows here how incredible it is. Like you can just stare and look at it.
Absolutely.
I can see looking at it on like a big TV. Like, can you imagine just look at that? Like, especially some of these splashes, dude.
Well,
like, I feel wow. Like sometimes I feel like a little also like breath. I was like, oh yeah, crap, this is great.
Rubinstein was one of the better inkers on Starlin as well. So you could really see where this looks like if very Starlin-esque, because Perez, of course, and Starlin have in some similarities to their style. There's a lot of this stuff in there. You can go, wow, that almost looks like Starlin did it, but it is Perez in the pencils, Rubenstein, but a lot of it looks very Starlin-esque, and that's because, in my opinion, I think one of the better inkers for Starlin over the years was Rubenstein.
You wanna hear one of the
Yeah.
details why you can tell this was the work of a madman, a real master on the craft, and not just a random guy?
Mhm.
The
Sherry,
equilibrium on the page is
Sherry,
on the art.
McCracken.
If you remove every single one of the things that will be lettering, the cost of the issue, the barcode, placer, everything like that, the cover actually loses balance. It was made to have all those things integrated from the
Mhm.
beginning, from every single position. It needed the barcode to be complete. It needed the lettering to be complete. So basically, he already thought about all that while doing the raw material for this cover. Doing just the
Mhm.
basic sketch for the cover, he already knew every position. If you read something from Marvel today, the art is cut
Mhm.
because they first do the art and then they think that they have to place every single one of the signs and lettering and barcodes and all that shit. So you will see that the art is missing place in places and you can tell that there's something important under the barcode. It's just not there
Mhm.
because fuck you, you don't need the real art. No, this art was made so you could see everything.
Well, no, Pablo, you're missing the important part. You got to do it that way so that way you can then sell the variant cover that doesn't
Ah,
have the
fuck
pesky barcode in the
off.
way.
Okay, to any artist that does that, does that thinking that will sell posters or variants, F off. Why? Because you want to have even the barcode on the poster. You want to tell that is not only a good art, that is the cover of an issue and one of the most important issues ever. That's why you do that.
Mhm. Mhm. Agreed. Caster, you got anything you want to add to this before we move on to the next few pages?
Just I love the coloring on this. Just that sort of
know.
watercolor esque look to just the way the colors flow into one another. It
Mhm.
it just it's one of those ones I want to I want to sink my teeth into. And I just want to enjoy it. It's not like a McDonald's cheeseburger of a comic cover. It's one that you savor. That
This
you'll
is
sit.
a Chicago burger. It's a gourmet made Chicago burger, is what this cover equivalent is.
If
Nowadays, what you get is the dollar menu from McDonald's. This is the gourmet Chicago burger.
This is the comic you stop and you while you're just so excited to tear into it, you stop and
Mhm.
you enjoy the cover before you open it.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm. Agreed. And what's up, Monkey Jeebus? See you there, McCracken Sherry. All right. And as we were talking about this great page that is just the ultimate tease. I love how this way the way it's written is not only does it feel heavy, but it feels slightly poetic in an evil way. It feels like it's like, oh man, that sounds really moving, but in a very evil way. And it reminds you that, yeah, Thanos is evil. There's no one, two ways about it. And that is a guy who could do anything with the power that he has. And I love the way the panels are. It kind of like, it reminds you of I'm trying to think here. What's a way of saying it? Like cut scenes going down, or it like looks like a movie that's going down to show you the imagery from the top of the skies of the stars all the way to the footsteps of the bomb. Yeah, it reminds me of movie scenes moving. That's what I get out of it. So
It it reminds me of the opening to the was it the outer limits.
Mm,
the
yeah.
oh okay, I didn't think of that. No, okay.
We control the horizontal. Do not adjust your set. We
Yes.
control the horizontal. We control the vertical. And Nick Weiser controls the universe.
but this actually follows a sense of cinematography. If you
Mm-hmm.
see it, is basically they are guiding your view as it was a
Mm-hmm.
pan, as if you were doing a pan of the scene with the camera. So
Mm-hmm.
the instances where you cut actually tell you the velocity that you need to guide your eyes to
Mm-hmm.
get the full
Yeah.
sensation of you are looking something bigger, you are looking on the screen something greater. That pan
Mm-hmm.
is actually really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And before we
Incredible.
have one of your guys sense it, Hymitron one. I don't feel like I recognize you, but welcome to the show. Nice to meet you. Hail to you, my friend. Says Jim Strong could always write Thanos poetic in analysis. Okay, he gets what I'm saying. It does feel a little bit poetic. It really does. At
Yes.
least that's my interpretation out of it. And I was like, damn. And it feels like I said, it feels heavy. It feels like there's some serious like weight to these words. Like these words mean something. There is power to these words. Yeah, I absolutely was in love with this stuff here. So, what do you got, Castler Clubby?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, this from the start out, his first, especially the early pages of this book, some of the most beautiful work. Again, with the combination of Perez and Rubenstein. So I love it, man. It's great stuff. It's especially the big splash page that you're coming up on
Mm-hmm. Oh
the
yes.
next
And
page.
before we tease it, oh,
To the
we'll get to
next.
it. Castler, you got anything before
Oh,
we
just
get
I,
show
I
off?
I like the alien landscape. Go nice and
Oh
simple.
right.
It's like
All
even
right.
like the pillars, like with the way they're all jutting out of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
are kind of are designed so that way as you're going down, your eyes is going down them. You're naturally going
Mm-hmm.
down the horizon towards the camera
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as you're noticing the footprints as they're slowly walking towards you. Like it's so well thought out.
It is agreed. And what's up, Grim? I see you in the chat. Well, thank you for dropping in here. And now let's just look at this.
Oh my!
Whew, I still get like I'm just like, jeez, look at this. Like the Stones, obviously, with all the credits, Tom DeFalco is the editor in chief. You got Jack Morelli, the letterist, Max Shield, obviously Stalin Perez, and how it just says those huge letters, God. It feels tense. Just look at those letters and seeing Thanos looking at it, and there's Mephisto, who's supposed to basically be obviously Marvel's equivalent of the devil, and it's just like even Mephisto's just like basically bowing before him,
Yeah,
like in that
McKiss
you don't see
ass.
Mephisto doing that. Now you see Mephisto being basically the Weasel
Yeah,
equivalent to
he's a
Thanos.
kiss ass right in this. Yeah.
Yes, but what a sight to look at on a visual scale to see like it's just made like that. Absolutely gorgeous splash here from Perez. Like from how
Yes.
like huge it feels here. This looks like one of those like if this were in a movie, it'd be like hello type of moments or dun dun type of thing. Like one of those moments that would have
Right.
like a grand score part in it. That's what I get out of this. What are you guys getting
Yeah.
out of this?
Terrific. I'm looking at a big blown up version of it now on my computer, and it's just one of the great splash pages of that Perez and Rubinstein ever gave us. It's just this is what a way to start. Yeah, it's classic, incredible.
There's a few things that you can say about this that are really, really interesting. One, the magnitude. If we just compare it to the MCU, the magnitude of the moment. By the way,
Uh-huh.
the phrase from this panel was said on the movie. Is said by Ebony Maw when they are on the ship,
You're
when they are
right.
riding Thor. Yeah, is
Yes, I
exact, is
remember
one for one.
now.
And
Yeah.
that's not the only one phrase that appears on the movies. There's several more that we will be discussing later, but uh, in this one, for this issue, the most important one will be this one. But why is important? In Infinity War, is Ebony Maw one of the servants for
The mall, yeah. The mall.
Yeah, basically, he's just one of the generals for Thanos, right?
Mhm.
He's
Mhm.
nobody that important on the context of the universe. Here is
Mhm.
Mephisto, is the devil, is the only being in the universe that will actually be near godhood in the whole
Mhm.
realm, other than, well, if you think the demigods are not even near the level of Mephisto. So Mephisto is bowing and presenting Thanos as a god. He's recognizing somebody that has ascended farther than him. So that is really important. Just think about
Mhm.
the context. The literal personification of evil in the universe. Because, you're superior. You are a god to me. If that doesn't show you anything,
Yeah.
But even then, with Mephisto there and just the way you see him depicted here throughout all this, watching him, he's waiting to betray him at the first opportunity he's going to get.
oh yeah,
You get the sense of it's coming, it's going to happen.
yeah, it's Mephisto. You
Mhm.
can only wait for Mephisto to do something like that because it's his nature. That's where people,
Exactly.
yeah, that's where people don't actually follow. And there's another character that will appear in the next issue, I believe,
Mhm.
that actually has the same intentions as Mephisto, because you cannot get a person with such an ego and such a disdain for everything in front of a god without knowing that, yeah, they will try to trick God because that's how they are. Just accept it. Yeah, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
But yeah, the fact that is Mephisto is the really important thing.
Mhm.
And later we see that another character that is bigger than Mephisto and Thanos actually think that Thanos is greater, and she's pissed about it.
Oh, she is spiteful. What do you got, Caster, on this one?
Oh, just one last thought that this kind of gets off the comic a little bit, and that's
Okay.
with us now having a proper view of Thanos and the look here. I feel like it's worth bringing up the comparison to the movie version, the costume design. It's like,
Hmm.
how well do you guys like the way Thanos was done compared to how he is most widely known here in the comics? I feel like it's one of those things that should be talked about at some point, because there's no way we're going to be able to talk about this without bring up the movie at some point. So I might as well
I
bring it
guess yeah, we might as well get out of the way. That's a good point.
Oh,
I'll make it nice and quick for me. I enjoy how he looks in the movie. Obviously, I wish he had the helmet on more.
up. The
Um,
big yellow eyebrows.
Yeah.
I do like that they at least made him purple and gave him the wrinkly skin, and of course gave him the Infinity Gauntlet and his suit. Even though the colors were a little, like, coloring of his suit was a little off at times. But I like it, but I definitely wish I could have seen the helmet
mhm.
more. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Seemed like he looked when the first little glance we get of him at the end of the first Avengers film was
Mhm.
wow. I mean, that was just blows you away. And it does seem like it. So what we're looking at right here, it felt
Yes.
much closer to that. And then you get a little bit more of him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and with the where
That was my
we get some
favorite look.
scenes.
Guardians
Yeah,
Thanos. That
and
was
then
amazing.
yeah, and so those
Mhm.
early shots are going. I'm having no complaints. They're fine. And as much as I did love the movie Infinity War, still, whatever I disagree with how they handle things, I enjoy the movie a lot. The performance is terrific. He looks fine. It seemed like they changed a little bit. I think they made him a little bit smaller than he probably should be. And the bald look, just have the damn helmet. I mean, it wouldn't kill you to keep the helmet on him. I personally preferred it when he was wearing the helmet, but no complaints really. It's a great performance, and he's fine. I just have some
Oh
issues
yeah.
with the way they changed his. Well, I'll go into that again, but the MO and stuff. But still,
Yeah.
it was a great interpretation of a. Well, it was a great performance of a villain.
The thing is, both interpretations are iconic in their own particular way. The Infinity War feels more like actual living being. somebody that you can see appearing in front of you. I do like that. I think the armor in some of the fights, especially with Iron Man, will have looked a bit confusing, a bit too difficult to manage visually. So I understand why they did that, and also why they could the fight with Thanos on the second movie on Endgame, because obviously it's really difficult to animate a character in movement with a solid armor with so many failure points where polygons can just clip and do crazy stuff. So I really understand what they were going. The way that he looks on the movie feels iconic, feels a bit more Breaking Bad ish, that I like. But you cannot say ever that the comic is inferior in any way, because let's be honest, it's cooler, it's
Oh,
flashier,
it's
it's
got
more
the colors.
intimidating. Yeah, so it has a different feeling for the movie. That Thanos works perfectly on the technical side, on the budget side, and is iconic. You can never say that he's not one of the most recognizable bad guys on cinema history. I think at this moment he's as recognizable as Darth Vader, but the comic book
Oh,
version
oh, agreed, agreed,
is
strongly agreed,
crazier.
agreed, absolutely agreed.
As
That's
for
the thing.
myself,
Yeah, just think
I
about the position that he's on this panel. He's basically showing his cock at the words God.
Mhm.
He's just literally pushing his hips forward to the word God. That's the kind of Thanos that we have on the comics, and you know what? I love it.
Oh yes, and our world is better for it. Do you got anything else, Caster, before we transition?
uh just just kind of a lot of the similar stuff. I think the comic version is better. I was
Agree.
when we finally got sort of the Infinity War stuff, seeing Thanos, I wasn't the happiest with the design choices because what can I say? I prefer the comic version.
Mhm.
Being comic fans, we're always going to complain. Oh, the
I agree,
blue
but
isn't
I'm with
quite
you, man.
blue enough. Oh,
Yeah.
the helmet, the little eyebrow ridge horns on the helmet aren't quite the right angle. It's
And the
it, it,
contrast, the
it-
golden boots.
he
It's
doesn't have the
cooler.
little mini skirt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
here is Flasher, and you know it's not an armor, it's cloth, but is this alien cloth that looks metallic-ish, but it's still cloth. It's not an armor properly. On the movies, it's an armor. No, he's sweet. He
Oh,
likes dressing like that.
and also the fact of the Infinity Gauntlet itself is just his glove.
Yep, it's nothing more. They
Yeah,
didn't need any extra accoutrement. It's just, god damn it, just put jewels on his hand. That's
yeah.
enough.
All right, so we got 30 plus people in here,
Hey, everybody.
and that is absolutely huge. So,
You.
well, we got you 30 plus in here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the Comic Shot Talk on this 82nd episode. I love seeing the comments on Thanos, MCU Thanos, the comparisons to the book. I love seeing the comments. I'm thriving from this. So thank you guys for being here and supporting the show. This drink goes out to all of you, whether you're drinking or getting high or you're just plain sober, you're just hanging out with us. I value your time and thank you for being here with us 40 minutes of this show. This drink is out to all of you for hanging out with us on this Friday night. Cheers and beers and salutations to all of you, wherever, whenever, however you are. Thank you.
Salud.
Indeed.
Ah, oh, that's good. That's good. All right, so this page is a little bit more straightforward, but it's still very powerful because this is where you start to see how Mephisto obviously not is just a kiss ass, but he's a little bit shooken by Thanos, and Thanos you really see how convinced he is that he's on top of the world. He can do anything, like anything. Obviously, he gets a little humbled not too farther later, but you really
Mhm.
do feel like wow, Thanos really feels like he is I'm gonna steal a Lobo term, the main man. That's what I got out of this. What are you thinking, Caster?
Oh, just the fact that it shows that for the moment he's reserved in the use of it all. He's not going out and like snapping his fingers to change everything yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a man who's driven by a cause. He's not just here to purely satisfy his own whims.
I kinda pity Mephisto on this panel because it's kinda like you go to your dad with this fancy new thing made out of macaroon that it's supposed to be a good drawing of him, and he looks at it disappointed and breaks it. Mephisto does this huge god on stone in the middle of nowhere, and Thanos goes, "It's dust. Fuck you."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Poor Mephisto!
Yeah.
Mephisto tries to do the best thing he can think about and is making just the mountains right God for Thanos. And Thanos is like, dust. I don't care. Fuck you. Poor Mephisto. I pity the goddamn man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your macrame is crap.
Blasphemer.
Lobby.
Oh no! Wait a minute, just this page, you mean?
Yeah,
stuff.
just off this page. What do you got?
Yes, it's definitely. We basically Thanos becoming blaspheming God and thinking he is God. And I miss crazy Thanos. He should be crazy. I like this interpretation of him. So here we go. And when Mephisto's scared of you,
right? Mephisto is shook. You just look at his eyes. Like seriously, I'll try to get more of a glance here. But look at it. You can see, like, even with his white eyes, he is clearly not only is he like a kiss ass as we talked about earlier, but he's shooken. He's just like, damn, this dude could take me, and I better not screw around with this guy. I that's what I get out of that second panel to the top of the middle. That's what I guess. That Mephisto's just like, crap. I better keep myself in check with Thanos here. Otherwise, my ass is gonna be grass.
And 5
Insulted on.
picoseconds. Yeah, I remember one more day, and you are right. Fuck his macaroons.
Real quick,
you made me
shout
sad
out to
for
Dragon Smoke 90. How are you, Abigor? I see you there, and Cavatino Cavalryman. Thank you guys for being here. Do you got anything else, Pablo? I know you said some stuff, but I feel like you didn't feel like you were finished, unless I got that wrong.
In this page, it's just a raw demonstration of power from Thanos, and that's it. It's just basically destruction porn. But Mephisto is sad.
Okay. All right. So for these pages now I love, and I'm gonna alter my screen a little bit so we can give the greatness of once again with Mr. Perez. But I love what was done with Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum logo with his
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was gonna say cape, but the proper name. I'm already my brain
Cloak?
is blinking out.
Cloak?
Thank you, cloak.
Levitation.
Thank you.
Yep.
Cloak of levitation. Thank you. But I love the way it's displayed to the side. I love that look, and I see how you got like the moon look on one, and you got the New York City there. Then of course, then you see it on 177A Bleecker Street to the right. So you got all three different perspectives. New York's right up against his building, the city of New York, and then up in the skies. And of course, it's strange being, strange, literally and figuratively. And Wong's just checking up on it. And obviously, for those out in the chat who have only seen the movie, so obviously you've seen this panel here, Silver Surfer crashed down in the Sanctum Sanctorum. That may be familiar to you guys a little bit with the words Thanos is coming. Obviously, in Infinity War, that was Bruce Banner after he lost a fight to the Hulk in the movie. In the books, was the Silver Surfer who got clobbered by Thanos, and he utters those words, Thanos is coming. So that is you get the same message, just with a different character. Right. So very effective nonetheless.
Yes.
What do you got on this, Clawby?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was, again, that's something very reminiscent. Again, well, Russo brothers, quite, cleverly would throw little bitty nods here and there to the comic, obviously, because the story is quite different from in the movies, and they are from this story are very pretty different. So it's always kind of, I remember just when I first saw the movie, seeing stuff like that, going, it's kind of cool to have nods like that to the comics, as you knew it was going to what's
Yes.
going to be like the comics. So yeah, that is a scene very much resembling what you saw in the 2018 Infinity War film. Yep, great start. And then I miss the days when Wong. Look, I love Benedict Wong as a character, but this is Wong is just basically the manservant in this case. And it was fine. He's fine in the movies too, though.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
Wonky
mean, I
is
liked him
well.
in the first movie. I liked him in Infinity War, but once
And
She-Hulk
they ruined
happened,
him.
which we're not gonna go down that route
Well,
Yes.
She-Hulk,
too many
She-Hulk
times.
ruined
We're
everybody.
not gonna go
Oh.
there, but we all know. Let's
Right.
just say we know. We know. And
Yes.
Release McCracken had a question. That's an MCU thing as far as the stone, and we're gonna get to panels of the carriers of the stones shortly. So you get to see who were the carriers. Obviously, some of them stuck, like the Vision, but there were some, there were some different ones. We're gonna get there,
No,
my friend.
wait.
So
The vision for this specifically because he is White Vision, right? So he has the Soul Stone instead of one of the
yes,
Infinity
there was a
Stones.
change in stone,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
he was
yeah.
still a carrier.
The Time Stone was never with Doctor Strange,
No.
and the Soul
No.
Stone actually have different properties here than in the movie, including
They were
having the
called
Soul One.
gems
Yeah.
instead of
First
stones.
of all, and there was a
Infinity
seventh.
gems. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, there's a seventh, and that's old
Mm-hmm.
canon, not even new canon. And basically, yeah, the whole structure is way different. The colors, you will see, there's a page where they show us the colors here on this issue are completely different. The people that had it, the properties, everything is different. And I still have my theory about how the Infinity Gauntlet on the movies is a supercomputer.
Mm.
Yeah, is really
Interesting.
easy. Do I explain it? Shall I explain it? Is rather quick. Basically, you have in any development language, you will have things like redundancies or counting an amount and cutting half of the stack. For each number that you reduce, you check again. If it works, then it's solved. If it doesn't, then you reduce another number until you get to the half, right? That is an easy system to do, and it will go item by item by item, reducing until it gets the number that is supposed to get, right? That's as a developer, I see that and instantly I see the code to make it. But the fun thing is how the Infinity Gauntlet works. It needs something to move a space because it needs to reach to every single being on the universe. It needs something that can equalize time because time is different on different places on the universe based on gravity. You need something that can target every single soul on the universe. That's why you need the soul stone, because you need every single living thing on the universe, and living things carry a soul. So you need a way to actually spot them. Then you obviously need something to power it up, the power stone, right? So every single stone fits in every place until the mind stone. The mind stone, as we have seen in several of the movies, works as a supercomputer. That's its function. And you can perform programming language that we have seen Tony Stark do on the Infinity Stones. So basically, the gauntlet works distorting reality. That's the reality stone, that's the function, removing for each living creature on the planet, reduced by half. You destroy one being, check if the number is complete. If not, destroy another being. And what do we see in the movies? Every single person disappears one at a time. there's not two that disappears at the same time. So it's just a supercomputer doing the function using the Mind Stone as the CPU and doing everything through equalization and math.
Well, the only time we got multiple people disappearing at a time was when like the airplane crashed.
Yes, but then you see, in the movie, if you see when two people disappear on the same place, they disappear at different time, and every single time is just one. Then other one disappear, then other one disappear. So I just thought about a way to make it actually work, and why will Tony Stark be able to reproduce it? Because it's a computer based on a processor that he already have manipulated before, the Mind Stone. So he just reproduced the whole thing, the whole computer, and that's why he has the Iron Gauntlet.
And then the Mind Stone has to will help to allow the wearer to then be able to interact with the gauntlet effectively.
Yes, that's why Thanos cannot do a lot of stuff before getting the Mind Stone, even having the other stones, having the Time Stone. Basically, he has the power of the universe, but he doesn't have a way to manipulate it correctly because he needs a driver. He needs the CPU for the computer. So it fits. It's just a theory that I developed because I'm a nerd. It fits.
Yeah, that's what we do, man. That's what I expect from you guys is to come up with these things, and that's what we do, and that's what we debate and theorize. And even 5 picoseconds is seconding your statement. Says, "Thank you for a theory. This is now my headcanon." Caster, what do you want sound off on these pages about?
Just I really like the way the panels flow. Like you start with the first three, and it's you have like the Doctor Strange symbol that is like the window, as it's slowly like going across them, so your eye is kind of naturally guided to follow those. Which also has this neat little addition of the red of the cape from that first panel kind of flowing down over, and in a very strange way, it's breaking the fourth wall there. As it's then met with the cape on the cloak on the other side to act as curtains to help frame it. It's such great layout decisions.
Agreed. 800,000%. I love what I see. It's going on here. All the colors fit what, like, if I had to imagine what this would all look like, I feel like even all the colors of the situation fit, whether it's just the look of the tables or the way like the bookshelves, like it's just everything fits, and it feels like the colors kind of modify to adjust to, so you can say focus on the details going on here. Like at this panel here where it says Dr. Strange says you have my friend, Wong, help me get into the sofa. It's like, okay, pay attention, see how the colors are drained out over here because they want you to focus on what happened here and here. And I'm like, I like that detail because they wanted they dimmed out the colors so you can focus on the two things here that were most important to that panel. That's a little thing there that's really cool, and I really like that. I'm like, damn, that's actually a cool thing to dim out the colors. And I was obviously done even a few panels earlier because they dimmed out the colors so you could focus on Strange, hopping up, and there's Wong as he's interacting because they're the main feature of those panels, so they focused on them. I like that touch that's done.
I also really like because you were mentioning like the way the house looks. It reminds me of like the sets from like Hammer horror movies, and that's like very much in line with Doctor Strange.
But I have a question about something there. Wong helps to move Silver Surfer to the sofa, right? Is a Silver Surfer supposed to be stupidly heavy?
It's magic. Don't worry about it.
I mean, you got Doctor Strange.
You're talking to a sorcerer and his manservant who he can help. I mean, I can see your point though, Pablo. That is something to consider. I'd say if it was like Spider-Man or even Daredevil, definitely Daredevil.
Doctor Strange can handle it.
Doctor Strange, yeah.
I don't think he's lifted the Hulk. Remember, he was in the Defenders with the Hulk plenty of times. They had to lift him up with magic and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, that's right.
True.
Yeah, good point.
What's up, awesome one? I see in the chat. This is a great comment here. I wanted to highlight, and we'll obviously I've tried not to take too much time with these, but Guagnar had a great comment here. Thank you, Guagnar. It says there are very few crossover comics for the Infinity Gauntlet event, and you didn't need to read them to get the story. Nowadays, you need to collect 50 other titles besides the main event comic. And that's the thing. I'm not one of those guys, like, let's just say hypothetically, if I was reading these books now, I don't mind tie-ins. I like added context. I like added going-ons. I think that's cool. Do I think they need to happen? No. But to me, that's like it should be like an icing on the cake of, hey, if you read the main event, you're good. This is great. Awesome. You're done. That's good. You're
Right.
in, you're out. Great. Now, if you want more and you just can't get enough, here's some extra measures, some added context, added stuff to, give you the full meal deal. It's like say, hey, here's a burger, but if you
Right.
also want some fries and some barbecue sauce and a large drink with that, here you go. Or do you just want to be the sandwich guy? Well, I'm gonna go the value meal. Okay, here's the value meal. It should be that, but now instead, it's basically they're mandating. Well, if you want to eat at our restaurant, it's the value meal or get the fuck out. And that's a problem because sometimes all you want is a sandwich, and sometimes there's nothing wrong with just wanting a sandwich.
Well, what was interesting about that, Nick,
I
is
just made
that
comics about food and made it make sense.
they did. See, the thing is, Nick, at that time,
Although
both Marvel and DC were obsessed with the crossover, the summer crossover, which is interesting because
I
you could
know.
have easily done that with this. However, this coexisted at the same time where they had, I don't know which one was going on, whether it was Atlantis Attacks or, Operation Galactic Storm. There were so many of them back then. There was one going on, and yet you had this as well. But interestingly enough, they didn't do it with crossovers with this. What they did is you had a prequel like Thanos Quest, but you had like all the sequels to it. There's about a year or two ago that came out with a set of all the comics related to Infinity Gauntlet and on. All the things anything to do with the Infinity, and it's like a $500 something set of hardcovers that the stupidly priced. So this is not alone. This is not an isolated comic book by any stretch of the imagination. There are tons and tons of quote unquote sequels or tie-ins or what have you. It just didn't do it in the standard Crisis or crossover way.
All good. Chris Mead, have a good
Which is
night. Thanks
different.
for hanging out and listening. No, Paul, I would like to have a big book of this whole thing. I would like to, but it's nice that if you're
It's a
someone,
bunch of trades. It's a bunch of
Yeah, the
hardcovers.
thing
It's
is,
unreal. Have you seen that thing?
yeah, the
oh,
thing
I'm
is
sure,
that
yeah,
a lot.
I have
Sorry.
not, but I believe you. I do believe you. By the way,
No, a lot of that material, sadly, is from way later. So a lot of the prequels and explanations and some things that they made during the Infinity
Some of it
Gauntlet
is, yeah.
saga, are from the 2000s and such. So I don't really see the point on revisiting this at that time frame, because they had some other things going on that were interesting, especially when they had Civil
Yeah.
War and some things like that to toy with. But they keep going to Infinity Gauntlet and they just make it too convoluted and too complicated.
Well,
If you follow
yeah.
just the straight line, it
Oh, I'm
works.
with
It's
you. I
better.
didn't want to read all those later ones either. I'm just saying there's a big, gigantic. They do have
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of things tied into it. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Whether
Okay,
it-
so
whether
I'm
it's
gonna
good or
be.
not is another
I'm
story.
gonna try.
But-
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be a bit so we can try to move some of these pages forward. I'm gonna be a bit quicker on this one. I love how intense and chilling the skeleton looks here of death, and the fact that Thanos is just like, obviously this is where we start to see that Thanos is, well, he really loves being validated by death. And you can see these panels of him being resurrected and being told his mission. And I love the way the side of the silver skull shows off the imagery of the corpse being dragged around of Thanos. Not as crazy detail going on besides the collection of skulls that Death is sitting on. But there's obviously there is important happenings going on, obviously, which is obviously there's more exposition focus. but still important pages to the story nonetheless. What do you got, Pablo?
Yeah,
Somebody has to say this, and I need to say this. Thanos is a simp.
Oh
he
yeah,
is.
no
Yeah,
Yeah.
shit.
Thanos is a simp. Sorry, but
No, you're
yeah,
not. You're telling the truth.
the panels are incredible on this. Just the way that it flows, the way that it melts. Uh, there's moments where you actually don't know if they are just trying to jump to the other setting. For example, the Silver Surfer is talking with Doctor Strange, right? But his bubble is in a space and is happening at the same time when Thanos and Mephisto are talking. So you have that small moment when the two moments in time just collide. So it has a flow. It has a way to show you what's going on what moment, at what time, with whom, and the flow of time in this story. But
yeah,
also they show you just Thanos being completely and absolutely out of reality. He doesn't care anymore about the destruction or creation. He just has one thing on his mind: a boner. He's for that boner and he's going straight for it.
yep.
You gotta admit that's
Isn't it though? But isn't it
impressive.
sort of like fitting though that the universe's ultimate nihilist only
Is in love with death.
exactly
Yes,
like
but
what
that's the
more could he
thing.
possibly be doing all this for?
That breaks nihilism because nihilism is not believing in anything. And he believes in his love for death. So he is no longer nihilistic
That's
by
why he's called the
definition.
Mad Titan. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, that one page there with the surfers there that kind of stands out to me is I know Starlin only wrote this book, but some of every now and then you get some pages that are very reminiscent of the kind of almost unique, unique to the Starlin's kind of panel layout and page design. And I think Perez and Rubenstein here do a really nice job of making it have the feel of a Starlin comic. Because you, Nick, you've read the Starlin's Warlock run, and so I don't know if you've read his Captain Marvel or whatever, but it's Warlock run. There's something different about a Starlin drawn comic that is different, even from a usual normal Perez comic or a Byrne comic or something like that. So, yes, the setup for the art in this book once in a while it's Perez and it's Rubenstein, but sometimes they kind of, I think they do a nice job of harkening back to the Starlin's
Of melting.
style of Starlin's type layouts and
Yeah.
and panel design and page design and things like that.
Mhm.
So
No, I actually agree with that. I can see where you're coming from on that. That makes a lot of sense.
No, they make
Yeah.
even the change of art just go with the fluidity of everything. So that's really interesting on this one.
Yeah, that's nice stuff.
Right, Caster.
Nice job on the art on this
Oh.
page. Yeah.
There's one other thing I feel like must be said with these pages here. Skulls for the Skull Throne.
I know, right?
Mhm.
It's a bad.
But-
That's a throne.
Very Starlin-esque.
But also, I just with like the look of the throne alone, with the jaws, it gives it this hourglass shape to it, which is very fitting for Death herself. I mean, what's more iconic than say a scythe with Death?
Yeah,
Just
that's
the
one.
motif of that.
Mhm. That's one of the things about Marvel that I think, at least on this era, was really interesting, especially with the experimenting on the drawing. Is that they were more creative on some things than, let's say, for example, DC at the time. They were just allowing more. I don't want to say drug up kind of styles, but they allowed more surreal, more imaginative styles. And that's what you are seeing there is basically you can interpret the throne room as anything you want. And well, Thanos later does that and reshapes it. So we might as well. But yeah, it looks like an hourglass. It looks like a monster eating death. It looks like a monster menacing Thanos. At the same time, it looks just like a fancy chair. So it has that sensation that was Marvel, more Marvel than DC of that era.
All right. So with these pages here, this is where once again, as the powers of Thanos, you definitely see his actual egotistical head grow big about how he can do anything. And he strokes his ego. He does his villain monologue, but how he talked about how he is everything, he is all that is type of stuff, and that he is he's the one. He's Thanos. I love the splash, like just the red, the red, yellow, and orange color. These colors fit really well together with the explosion happening. It's like, man, it's so crazy how you can see an explosion make it look, I guess you could say, kind of pretty, but it really does for me. Seeing this explosion is a sight to behold. Obviously,
It's a good
explosions
color.
for those
It's a
who
good
are
selection of
involved
colors.
is not great, but they make it look really nice in this book. So they really excelled at that. And is where you start to see of course, the zoom in perspective of the gauntlet as you see Surfer tell his story. Go ahead, Caster.
Oh, I mean, just the dialogue here is something that I feel like we haven't really touched on too much, because I mean,
Go for it.
The buildup of this is Thanos sort of more or less talking to himself, while Mephisto is there to talk to him, but it's more so Thanos contemplating this all to himself. He's saying, "I am omnipotent. What should I do with such almighty power?"
Anything.
The answer to that is really quite simple. Anything I want.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Absolutely heavy words, Caster. That's a chilling statement. Like, and he does it with saying few words too. He doesn't need to go, like, even though he's done some monologuing, it feels like he monologued where every word counts in what he says.
Yeah, and what better to follow that up with than him destroying a planet with just his slightest whim. And by the way, not snapping his fingers to be able to do it.
Mhm.
Which is another thing that bugged me with the movies, that they had to do everything just by the snap of the fingers. It's like,
Oh, no. In the movies, actually, is the movement of the fingers, not only a snapping. So if he moves the finger where the Soul Stone is, for example, on the fight with Doctor Strange, when Doctor Strange transformed into multiple astral versions
Yeah,
of
that's
him.
true. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Thanos just moves the finger, so he just need to trigger the finger and nothing more. He doesn't need to snap. The snap is only
so I guess I
for
saw that
disappearing.
wrong.
Yeah. He
Okay.
just moves the fingers. He doesn't need to snap every
All right,
single time.
I stand corrected.
Oh, fun insight here from Guagnar. The X-Men editors didn't want anything to do with Infinity Gauntlet, but were persuaded to lend Wolverine Cyclops to the story. Wow.
Yeah, that's actually true. Good one,
Oh, thank you for the
That-
insight, Guagnar. I love
Intercompany
seeing these
politics.
added comments like in the chat like this.
Yeah.
I get to learn from you, so that's great. Thank you.
Intercompany politics was not an uncommon thing. Some editors they had different editors on different series, be it Marvel, DC, or wherever, and they didn't. When these big intercompany books or things that involved multiple characters, but like not in an established title, like Avengers or whatever, they tend to get cranky about things like that, and they didn't want they didn't want, because that was back when they actually cared about things like continuity in Canada. No one cares about that anymore, and therefore people didn't say, "Hey, man, what are you doing in this book? My characters aren't doing that. What the hell?"
Also, they will be competing even with the budgets and how they will be marketed and everything. The Clone Saga. Just remember that's part of what happened on the Clone Saga. It was the marketing department like, dudes, they are giving us a lot of hell. You need to move.
It was a chaos sometimes.
Yeah, to say the least. But What's this? Anyway,
You know what got
Pablo,
me about this,
why don't
Nick? By the
you-
way, I think he went a bit far when Thanos said, "I can do anything," and he says, "Like win the lottery." They cut that out. Though. A lot of people know that he was gonna like go for he was gonna like cheat and get the lottery numbers for the big jackpot. But I'm glad. I thought it was a good decision on Starlin's part to cut that bit out. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I
I thought-
think he was preoccupied if anything includes avoiding the IRS. So
Yeah.
I see. I thought he was gonna make people forget about the Thanos chopper.
Yeah, well, that was
No,
that was the first
speaking
thing
of
he did.
Thanos chopper.
That's the first thing he
just
tried.
Did it. You just did it.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Thanos.
yes.
Yes.
beautiful.
I shall just take over the entire universe with my copter. Yes. I shall
They were
destroy
not
you
thinking
all.
about Thanos being a big villain of
Well,
the Marvel
know-
universe at that point.
you two would be insane if you had a Thanos copper.
Yeah.
I shall wipe out all.
I
half
have
of
no
all the copters.
regrets.
You wipe
Oh,
out
man.
half of all the copters in the universe.
You see, Nick used his Infinity Gauntlet to make that. It works.
Yes.
All right.
I love that you have that.
Back the screen of the book. Well, I ignited the chat with that one.
Did you get that recently, like one of those Hot Wheels
A few years
redos
ago,
or whatever?
it was
Yeah,
an
they came out with that.
SDCC thing that I managed to get a hold of.
Oh, yeah,
before
that's
it got
right.
really, really, really
Expensive.
wildly pricey. What's
Cool.
up, JT Gunn? How you doing? Caster, I feel like no, you haven't really got to say too much on this, unless I missed you. Was it
I
Claudia?
sort of kicked this little bit off by talking about the text. Like I can do anything I want.
Yes, you did. Clawby, go ahead and go.
Oh, nothing to say.
What's up,
We
Dave?
already pretty much talked about the cutout line that we had about the lottery. So we're good. Brilliant stuff. Great page. Beautiful page. So we're good. And then of course, you can move on.
Pablo, I got you too.
Yeah, basically the page is amazing. The way that Thanos shows that he just doesn't care about anything anymore is the interesting part. Let's be honest. He's basically the same time saying that I'm superior to everyone and I don't give a damn about anything anymore.
At least
So-
except to my woman who she puts
Yeah,
me in my place. Yeah.
But that's an interesting contrast between he has the power to actually reshape the universe. He doesn't even care about
Yeah, I
the
mean,
universe.
Dude, Pablo, Galactus comes over and says, hey, man, can you go out? No,
Yeah.
Fitz won't let me go out, man. Oh, God. So Galactus and the Watcher are making fun of me. Thanks a lot, bitch. Oh, every Galactic gods get to go out and do what they want, but I can't go out planet bowling because you're just yelling and nagging me all the time, Death. Yeah. Sorry.
Dave had a great comment about the copter saying, "Get to the chopper." I just want to highlight that. There's no way you pass up that
Right.
said anytime. And this is where we're talking about with exposition here. Very important exposition here for those in the chat. Once again, comparisons, comics and movies here. So obviously Thanos lays out his mission with the stones, and you see the carriers of the stones in the books. And you even have a moment too, whereas if you're looking right over here as he's wielding his fist up in the air, if you look to the bottom left, where it seems like I guess you could say changing reality to his will. That reminds me of that moment where he kind of did that. I think it was when he was fighting Star-Lord and Gamora, was it in Infinity War when he was bending reality to his will? I think it was that sequence.
Reality is always disappointing, or at least
Yes,
it was.
and he was messing with reality during that
Yeah,
sequence, and
no
it did
reality.
kind of look like this kind of with the
No
with
reality
the-
can
with
be
the-
whatever I want. That's the phrase
Yes.
on the movie.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
still remember it because that's one of the greatest phrases on the whole MCU. He's just like, I kinda can beat you all. That's it. There's no punchline. There's no anything else. Reality is whatever he wants. There's nothing else that matters at this point. He's just too powerful to face, basically.
Yeah. No, he is. Dude. freaking nature, man. But yeah, for those with added context, obviously here, let's see here. There's Vision. I can't seem to remember who that was. Clubby with the
What
power,
are we looking at?
Gardner.
with the gems. Because yes, another thing, chat. They were called the Infinity Gems,
Mhm.
not the
Yeah,
stones. They were called the gems.
Right, gems.
So we got our killers here. We have
Vision.
reality. We had space.
Wasn't
Vision.
there? Yeah, wasn't there a time where every single one was called the power gem when they were just first conceived?
Like I know that was like how they started with them. So it was like just the power gem was the first thing.
From their
Yes,
faces,
but
it's kind of tough to tell.
then was 7, and it was the power gems, and I think each game. It was not canon, nothing that they explained. They just started using them as this one controls time and everything. But it was not something that they established on the creation of the gems. It was just something they did.
Jennifer Lawrence is
Yeah.
actually death in the Infinity Gauntlet. You
No,
guys
she
are killing me.
created the Infinity Gauntlet with the universe.
Je-
She is the Infinity Gems.
oh man, you got
Yeah.
Gragnar, that's hilarious. Go ahead, Caster. Look like you got some thoughts on the pages here.
That's true.
I mean, a couple of things real quick.
Yeah.
Left page, that bottom panel of Thanos holding the gauntlet up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Look at how great that is.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, it looks shiny. It makes it look shiny. It looked like he went to turtle wax. It looked like he went to turtle wax and they say, "Hey, can you give this a little a little shine so I can wield this in the air and make it look cool?" And they gave it nice
They
turtle
call
wax.
Zipatones.
Yeah,
That's what they
he
call 'em.
looks even way more scarier because of even the tone. You cannot see the eyes; it's just shadow, right? So before you see that glimpse of light in his eyes all the time because he's now a god, but in this moment is basically that's not even there. The only thing that shines is the gauntlet.
Oh, weren't they like the last of their species? Like the immortals? It was like immortals or something.
Yeah, they are the basically the Eternals, number 2.
It was something like that because I remember
Yeah,
there's supposed to
they
be
were
like these
created
highly
to be.
powerful entities.
Yeah. They were created to be basically the Eternals 2.0 on the canon. I don't know if that's something that they added after 2000 or not. But even here, I think he says something about it because he's one of the mutations, and Star Fox Zeros actually says something about that. So yeah, it was canon in this time too.
So there you
Just-
go. Thank you, Fanty.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Phantom Outsider. You between him and Gwagnar, you guys have been laying out the comments, filling in any blanks that were missing. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I love that Champion was one of them. That Champion and let's see. Again, because by the faces, it's kind of tough to tell from here.
The other
it's been
thing I
forever.
really like is in the one where you see Thanos like actually like holding the fist up, and that you can see, if you look at the bottom, you can just get that little outline of the yellow like energy Thanos head.
Yes, the grin, his teeth. Yeah, his grin. Yeah, I could see that. His twisted smile. Yeah, pretty wild there to see. That's a very sinister looking panel there. And that's where you see, obviously, it's strange realizing what they're actually dealing with to a point where Surfer is basically monologuing what he has dealt with.
That's reinforcing the moniker, the Mad Titan.
The Mad Titan.
Now, it's like his will can bend the very fabric of reality. A man with that much power.
Yes, he buys fabric by the bushel, and and reality fabric is expensive, by the way.
Oh, really expensive.
You gotta buy by the yard.
Yeah. just goes to see.
It's shift
I wonder
by
if this
weight.
was Starlin's way. This whole thing of just telling us that you can have complete ultimate power in the universe, and if you're a man, you're still going to be p-whipped.
Yep. Sadly, yep.
I can actually, what? That would make sense. That was his point. He is trying to prove that you could have all the power, but at the end of the day, you still got something that holds you down, and it's.
And then the scariest being in the universe isn't Galactus or any of these other ones. It's the ultimate divorce lawyer. Divorce lawyer.
Wait,
Divorceo. He's Divorceus, the
Divorce
lawyer of the universe.
who will be the divorce lawyer? Lawyer. Okay, this will be multiversal, right? It will not be just on that universe. So, the Supreme Intelligence, the Watcher.
I don't know. No, they're probably just as p-whipped as Thanos is.
So the Supreme Intelligence, instead of creating Captain Universe or was it Universe, what Spider-Man becomes when he gains the powers of the universe.
Captain Universe.
Captain Universe is
Yes.
Captain Universe, right? So basically, instead of creating the next Captain Universe, is just sitting there going like, okay, who gets the car? I will like that movie. Okay, I want that movie now.
Grim. You guys are killing it. I love these comments. Did you get anything else for these Klobby with these pages?
No, great stuff, beautiful stuff as the story progresses. Here we go again.
On my own.
Nothing more to add. Let's move along.
All right.
Such
I
hands
assume
of
Pablo said his
madman, a
piece
nihilist.
as well.
It's gonna at this rate. It's gonna take us a month to cover one single comic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No. Hey, I'm making sure if you guys had anything you wanted to add. That's all. Klobby, I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay, now we get to see these wacky new these characters. Funny, you're in all this cosmic stuff going on. You go from that to two of these clods we have here. These these characters in New York who are Jake Miller and Ralph Bunker. Let's see, Archie's cousin, I guess, and Bambi Long. These idiots
called a bimbo.
Yes, bimbo. Yes, of course. And they knock over a liquor store and kill and waste the shopkeeper, and then they drive off. And you're like, I guess if you're reading this in the comic way back when, you're like, what does this have to do with all the? Anyway, they drive off of a cliff.
No, this page is a hard cut. They don't give you any information, anything, and that's why it works.
Exactly, because they just drive off a cliff, and we don't know why yet. And then we go back to basically Doctor Strange, Sanctum Sanctorum, where this Silver Surfer continues talking about what's going on, what happened with him with Thanos. So, and wackiness ensues there. So, basically we're back to the recount of this. A lot of this issue is this. It's bringing you up to speed, getting things started. It's very foundational, which is understandable.
Oh yeah, you need to do that so you can get people understanding what's going on.
Yeah,
and that's better than doing it with and that's better than doing it with crossovers and all that kind of crap. So yeah.
Agreed.
This is exactly what they needed to do, because the expand of the story is not only Doctor Strange or just if you are going for the cosmic, Adam Warlock and Galactus, is not just those characters. It's something that is happening to everybody in the universe at the same time. Right. So they just go to a random story, and yes, it's a random story that will come back and actually will have something else to do. But for the moment, it's random people on a random situation, has nothing to do with the story of Doctor Strange.
So we think.
Yeah. But in reality, all the stories that are happening at that moment in all the universe are connected, because at one point in this issue, everything goes.
Yeah,
every single story. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say Gwagnar. They actually did bring Troll into the MCU.
Yeah.
With
Pip the Troll
in
is on the
Eternals.
Eternals and Star Fox 2. So Eros is on.
Yeah, Eternals with
Oh, that
Patton
movie.
Oswalt.
There's another movie where they say the connection between Thanos and the Eternals. Star Fox present himself as an
Star
Eternal, but
Foxes. Yeah,
we know he is the brother of Thanos. So
Thanos. Right, that's right.
I'm just still trying to remember exactly when they started to do that, but at that point it was there. So and Star Fox talks about Thanos
Right.
as his equal all the time. So in this issue, so
Well, yeah, and the worst part about it, Gwagnar, as far as with Pip, is that it's freaking Patton Oswalt. Ugh.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh,
Absolute
God.
travesty. Absolute travesty. Ugh. It's yeah.
Looking at this, Ralph looks like the Violator from Spawn.
yeah.
Although it predates it, yeah.
Yeah, no, it does predate it, but yeah, I could see where Cass's comparison.
By the way, we
does
see
come
Nebula.
from.
We see the real comic book Nebula in a flashback
Yes.
there, who's so nothing like the movie Nebula, which is fine. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and in the movie we only see a bit of the torture, and is she on pieces? It's not like here that is basically she's a living corpse.
I met Gamora also. By the way, also Gamora, same deal. Nothing like the
completely
Drax.
different. Who?
yeah, because Gamora dies in the comic, right?
Yeah.
What do you, Pablo? Anything else for this one? I know you had some stuff, but in case you had anything else you want to.
The craziness on the panel where Silver Surfer and the Destroyer are trying to fight Thanos, and they're just melting. It just show you everything that you need to know. The other panel is
no one stands a chance.
As I said, the other panel is just cutting the story to give you a glance on this is bigger than. But the panel of the fight is just, it shows you the power of Thanos, and if the Silver Surfer will be on that position where his own existence is thrown into another realm, well, basically anyone can be defeated by Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely messes Surfer up bad.
Yeah, and this is where Surfer gets his ass kicked back into. He gets his ass kicked so hard he gets sent over here.
To the Soul Realm.
Drax.
That's true, Fanty, by the way.
I want you to think about this, okay? Silver Surfer has the power cosmic. At this point, he already knows that he is Norin Rat, so he had the fallout with Galactus. He has full connection to his powers without the need of Galactus saying how much he can do. He can alter reality. And he loses in that single hit to Thanos. Think about that.
Yeah. It was just at the very end, by the way, Gwagnar, where we saw Pip and what's his face, Starfox of the Eternals.
Euros.
It was the extra scene when.
Never watch that movie again.
I
don't want to go down that route, but never watch it again. Casser, why don't you lay out for our chat what's going on in these panels and your thoughts? I'll skip so you can have your say, and obviously we still can move a little better. So
here we're getting the view into the Soul World, where we are meeting up with Adam Strange, who, by the way, has the greatest fucking hair in this comic. By the way,
Adam Warlock, yeah, that's great.
I'm sorry, Adam Warlock. Yes.
Yep. The great Adam Warlock.
Good old the great Adam Warlock.
Where he then sends both Drax and the Silver Surfer away from the battle with Thanos, which then leads to the Surfer getting to Earth, where we then met him. Just to keep that very brief.
Yeah,
but it's the Surfer freaking out. It's the Silver Surfer freaking out.
Yeah, that's saying something too. Yeah.
Exactly. Be very, very afraid.
Indeed.
The king of music is right.
Uh-huh.
That's the thing. If a being that can manipulate matter and reality is pissing his pants, you gotta know something is really wrong.
Oh yeah. And shout out TZ, how you doing? No, these panels, man. Whew. And once again, another visual treat because it does make you feel like you're in a different world when when the obviously Surfer and Drax get kicked, their asses kicked into it. You really feel the difference. All the worlds feel like their own worlds. That'll be my one quick comment. Just every world actually feels different. Like it's like, oh crap, and that's something you don't see nowadays. Nowadays, everything looks the same. If it's in New York City or in space, or if like you watch a lot of TV shows nowadays, a lot of shows look the same. These all the worlds feel like their own unique world. Well,
No,
now I'll let you guys have it. Go
yeah,
ahead,
no.
Pablo.
Every single world on movies look like Star Wars, with the exception of Star Wars. That's the sad reality that we live in. Is every single movie look Star Warsy? Every single planet that we see on any movie is Star Wars, but the Star Wars. Star Wars is the only one that doesn't do Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah. No, this panel is just Adam Warlock being presented. Obviously, he still hasn't recalled Pip the Troll. Doctor Strange thinking about his strategy, and well, Thanos is just like, "Hey, honey, I'm home. Guess what? You are not honey, you are vinegar."
Yeah, this is pretty pathetic.
Yeah. It is interesting here with
But honey,
where we're getting this Mephisto monologue as he's kind
Right.
of contemplating and getting his own understanding of what it would mean of having that much power for Thanos, that even with having nigh omnipotent power, he still can't do everything. He cannot make death love him.
No, okay. There's something about that. He can make Death love her, but he will be defeated
Right.
if he does that, because the point is that he doesn't want to tame Death. He wants Death to just love him because he exists. If
To
he
adore
uses
him
his powers on her, basically he's admitting that he lost, that she will never love him unless he uses the powers beyond godhood. And that's his real game. That's his real, let's say, end goal on all this. Is just that thinking that he is enough of a nice guy to jump his bones, or him jumping her bones. This is confusing on so many levels, but yeah, is Thanos basically cannot bend death. He has the power, but he can't do it and still win in this situation. He needs her to just fall in love. That she kinda did. That's why she recalled Thanos into life and gave him the boost of power, but then he cheated on Death and gained the power of infinity. And that's why no Death cannot no longer talk to him, because she cannot defy infinity. So basically uh he cock blocked himself.
Ain't that sweet? Thanos wants to be loved
Oh,
for who he is without
yep.
manipulation. That's so nice. It's
But
so
that's the story.
heartwarming and wholesome.
Because
That's
he's such a charismatic guy. Anyway, right? He's such a really nice guy. He's really got great qualities. I
What a
wanted to see it from
stand-up
me.
guy.
Yeah, I mean, I've murdered and killed so many people. I mean, when is he going to see how great I am? I mean, yeah, I've murdered more people than anybody he's ever going to meet. Man, come on, who's the biggest murderer than me? But look, I mean, come on, honey. I didn't take out the garbage, but I've killed planets.
but
Who's the most
then
murderous? I'm the most murderous, baby. Love me.
he just
Yeah.
goes. But
You're
then I
breaking
kill
my
a lot
heart.
of people and my gauntlet is big. What else do you need?
And
Well,
my
me-
gauntlet is
Hey,
big.
yeah.
That
Maybe
actually sounds like some Thanos words.
just
Like,
say
over
maybe
20
Death is
women.
not into feasting. Just
But to be honest, guys, I think he was kind of okay until like the scene where she gets an actual, cute woman face.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, now I'm really in love. I mean, man, that skull thing you got rocking earlier, I was on the fence a little bit. I thought we might try to make it work out, but man, now you're hot. So he's really in trouble.
No, baby.
Who did that?
No, baby. Take your skin off. I like it better that way.
Who did that?
Oh man.
Was that a plan of Mephisto? Was that Mephisto like messing with him? Like, hey, look, if he might just kind of walk away and just go, play the field, but let me turn her into a hottie, and then he's hooked because he's a real simp.
Yeah, Thanos is a
She
simp.
might as well be a
That's
like a Twitch thought now.
Absolutely is a
Yeah.
sim. In this day and age, a Twitch hoe. So, anyways, Clubby, I'm gonna let you have it with these
Yeah, 'cause
pins.
remember
This was definitely something important that
Okay.
you, as a reader, back in '91, this had to have been confusing, and then you come back into it. So maybe you'd be best, talking about what was going on story wise here.
Right. So basically, we get to the people that we saw on a page earlier that were seemingly nothing compared to such a cosmic story. A couple of losers who knocked over a liquor store in New York and then run off a cliff. No great loss, right? Well, hey, so for some reason they're alive, or are they? Apparently, they have been. There's a transmutation, as they're calling it. They are now some alien beings. Woo! And they go get a hotel room, and they said they got to lay low for a while to start changing. So you got a couple of panels of exposition for that. Not much to the story, not much to comment on right there, because it's just that will of course be dealt with more a little bit later, unless anybody else has anything to comment on. We go back to
Caster. Did you got anything after Clubby for this, and then we'll go on to the one after? No.
Nope.
Oh, Clubber. Caster said, "Be right back." Well, Pablo, do you have anything? And then we'll move on to next one, or do you just want to hold off?
They keep doing exactly the same, just changing the story so you can see that the scope is bigger.
Right.
But it's nothing more. They just don't give you anything. The art is pretty, especially on the right panel, but it is nothing that important. No, where you are now is actually important.
Right.
First of all, Grayskull.
Let me ask you this, Pablo. Do we know why she went from Skull to
it's part of her it's part of her power set. Basically that's her beautiful shape.
Right.
She has the skull shape, and she just changed between them.
Yeah, she just
she
so
basically.
I'm just saying, this is the first time in this particular issue that we see it.
Oh yeah, it is basically a mood stone. At least on the Infinity Saga, I think with Deadpool they did something about that transformation and what it means and everything. But in this, is just a mood stone or something of that kind. It shows she's pissed or she's angry or shit like that.
Well, you think Thanos, with all that knowledge and all that ultimate power, realized that women don't like pathetic dudes who are needy. And he is being such a wusswad right here.
No. It shows you something. It shows you something bigger. He has the Mind Stone. He can understand the universe, and still he cannot understand a woman.
Well, yes, exactly. I mean, he's ultimate powerful now. They have already stressed that throughout this issue. But he's being a pathetic little, like you said, a simp in this to her. It's like the point. It's like usually women don't like that. If what I've always seen, they don't like wusses.
Look, guys.
That's so accurate.
He's after a girl who looks like Raven. I gotta say he's got
like Raven.
Yeah, but this is
but
this is way before Teen Titans. So
no, it was after Teen Titans.
No. I mean the series on Cartoon Network that
but the comic was
is the reason why a whole fetish started, because that Raven literally started a fetish.
Oh yeah, but she looks like the one from the older Teen Titans comic.
Yeah.
She does look a lot like Raven.
All right, Caster, share us your thoughts on the pages, and this obviously you got a really once again another gorgeous sighting of a giant skull because Starlin loves the skulls, but it really
Oh,
this
yes.
is where you start to
He
see
does.
his obsession turn into well more obsession, and it looks beautiful, being told about his greater obsession. So I'll let you
Castle
have it with this
Grayskull.
one.
I mean, it's interesting with Mephisto here. He feels like he's more so the point of view character for these couple of pages here.
Yes.
I mean, it's his internal monologue as he contemplates what this amount of power for Thanos means. Why with just a wiggle of his pinky, he could undo Mephisto and make him never be. Can he control that much power? Or as even Mephisto here is pointing out, like, or is he gonna simp out to death and be unable to seal the deal? Like even Mephisto knows he's simping hard.
Yes.
Yeah, Guagnar. We're talking about Raven was way after Marvel's death. No one said there was that. No one disputed that. Raven was just before. I think Pablo was talking about the cartoon.
Yeah,
Teen
my whole
Titans,
joke is that yeah, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, you got.
No, dude, he's got the time stone. He went to the future. He saw that cartoon, and he's like, "I want that."
There you go.
Yep, I can see that Thanos is part of the huge ass gothic fetish kind of man. And I agree. I just agree. He's right. Not in destroying the universe and killing half of sentient life, but big ass god girl. Yep, go for it.
Girl.
Do it.
Oh, you guys are killing me. And take care, Grim. Thanks
Good
for
night,
being
Grim.
here. And shout out to
Have a
Ho
good
Baby
one.
74. How are you doing?
Hey,
Thanks
Ho
for
Baby.
dropping in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for how obsessed he is, they once again they sure know how to make it look nice. Like they really do. And that for me was like
G-Man.
my big
Oh yeah.
takeaway out of all of this. And there's one comment I wanted to highlight before I move on. Oh, Cavitino right here. Thanos may have had the mind gem, but he still cannot understand Lady Death. I thought that
Oh,
was a very
yeah.
funny comment.
Yes.
Well said, Cavitino. Well said. But
Yes,
guys,
sir.
if we're gonna take 5 minutes just to admire, dude, wow.
This is a marvelous.
Okay, I will.
Marvelous spread.
I will say
Go ahead,
it. I will
Pablo, have
say it straight. Thanos is not a fan of He-Man. He saw Castle Grayskull and went, "I can do better." And you know what? He did.
I think he was a
Yes,
fan of
it's-
Judge Dredd with those Eagles.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, this is magnificent right here. Great work by Perez and Rubenstein. And it's definitely them. I mean, I'm looking at it big stretched out there on the screen. It's just really awesome. It's just awesome piece of work. Great stuff.
I mean,
and once
also,
again, the presence of the white and showing what the important thing to emphasis on is color because Thanos is presenting his side of things to them. So he wants you to say, hey, look, focus on them. But the thing is, you can't help but take your sights off the white. So it's just there's the visual, but who's important is what's its color highlights. So I love how that's done with Perez once again. I love that so much. Go ahead, Cass. I had to throw that.
I was gonna say basically the exact same thing. It just the little amount of color with the actual set itself, and where it's more or less just reserved for the characters, and they on this whole 2-page spread. They are like just little bits of color. They stand out enough, but not too much that they get in the way. It's like your eyes are drawn to the giant, like beautiful, like throne for Thanos and Death.
Space looks
Yeah.
cool. Seriously, I love even how just like the outer spaceness of it looks like, even though it's just straight black and white on that, and it looks right. And the icicles too underneath it all too, or just rocks, whatever you want to call it. It all looks. This is a visual treat and then some. And
all
seeing the
with
torches
flow.
lit up too. I love seeing all the torches lit up too in yellow with the yellow. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, they even make the yellow stand out too. I love it.
There's
Pablo,
there's only one issue with this, and
what
is
is it?
Thanos tried to please a woman making a monument to her bipolarity. Literally, both faces of death, both states of death, and he makes a temple of. Dude, if you don't notice, she's toxic. You may be an asshole, but you deserve better.
See, Thanos was trying to give her the world, and she's just like, yeah, you want it all, but you can't have it, Pablo. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I love
What's up, 70s?
Hey, 7 days. What's up, buddy? I love Mephisto's face, look on his face. He's like, you guys are starting to bum me out, and I'm supposed to be like the other man with all this death stuff. Jeez, guys. Wow, you guys are really. I mean, I thought I was like the most evil thing around. My goodness, I'm getting scared here. Good to see you, 70s.
Thanks for dropping in, brother. I mean, obviously this one isn't as further the story, but it's just the visual spectacle because I will
Beautiful
call it
stuff.
spectacle is.
Yes.
Woo!
There's
Just-
many panels on this book that are just so you can see the art. Nothing else.
Oh, George Perez totally was thinking that when he's like,
Enjoy
that
while
would
you
be
have
really
him.
nice to
Yeah.
just. Yeah, he's like, I know what, I want this to be just admire what's going on here, and you know what, it paid off. It paid off, and then some. So, Pablo, once you care to tell everyone about this one, and if you have any thoughts on this one right here with the thrones and all, and still the rejection, go ahead, have at it.
There's so much. For example, the position where Thanos sits.
Okay.
Actually, if you see it, Death is on his right hand.
Yes.
He's giving her all the position of power.
Uh-huh.
All the time. Every single thing that he does is to set her up for more power, to lift her up. And she just get more pissed. And you can see at the beginning of these panels, her face is just like, well, she is bitchy, but she is not angry. In the bottom panel, you can see she's pissed. She's done with
This
Thanos.
is so pleasing some women. I mean, good lights give it the whole universe.
Yeah, and isn't the position that literally he creates a throne for a god, and what's on his right hand? Death as his superior. And Death is still like, you son of a bitch.
Still not enough.
Yeah.
Still, she spurns me.
Woman.
Perhaps it is not because she does not yet realize. Perhaps it is because she does not realize yet, or does not yet realize, the true stagnant depths your black soul is capable of achieving. And he had to, with the way Mephisto talks about it, oh, what now? Oh, yeah, sure. Whatever you say, dude. I mean, what? Huh? What are you talking about? Okay, basically, she thinks you're a wussy. How about that?
All the while, Mephisto's in his ear whispering, preying
Right.
on all of his insecurities. No,
Yeah, because he
clearly,
just
you
gave her the
haven't done enough.
universe. He gave her the. I mean, he said, "Here it is, it's all yours." She's like, "Well, whatever, dude. I gave you the power. Probably not impressed." What do you mean?
And this is
Death is a dark spirit, ebon in her ways. Her mate must be a like bent, and you are you up to the challenge? So she just wants to play with him, basically.
I still cannot see what he sees in her. Did he got
Oh, he
feet
is
pics
crazy.
or something like that? Why is he so infatuated with that?
Don't we sometimes like the crazy chicks? I mean, let's just be honest, even though we shouldn't. Have you ever been there, Pablo? You know what I mean? I'm old now, but I mean, I've been there.
Oh, I have been there, and luckily, I told that lady I don't want to talk to you ever
Right.
again, and she contacted me the
Right.
week after, and she's still trying to contact me. So change your number, and it's that
Right, that's-
still might
That's
not work.
Thanos
with
for you
crazy.
right there.
This.
That's
Yeah.
Thanos. He still likes the crazy chick because he's crazy. So yeah. Cray.
Don't go for the hippies. Don't go for the hippies. They are crazy. They do great stuff on bed, but your life will be ruined.
Right.
Trust me,
Yes,
I
sir.
know.
Yeah.
And of course, once again, visual spectacle. Once again, more
Great
Thanos.
stuff. Yeah.
Really, really trying to present every single thing he can, up to including his greatest creation, not Death's greatest creation, but his. So I feel like there's a little bit of narcissism here on Thanos's behalf, as far as look at my greatest creation. Come on, admire me for my creation.
Yeah, and it's
That's what
something that
I got
defies
out
her.
of it.
No, the fun part is that creation defies death. So basically, he's mocking her in her face, trying to get her heart. Dude, you are not getting things right. Just stop. Go to the store, get some candies, maybe some chocolate, a couple of flowers, and try again.
Yeah, Thanos is. This is you see the desperation is really, really, really sinking in. You guys want to add anything, or should we carry on?
No,
We
poor
can move on. I
Thanos.
mean, this is basically the same thing that's been going on for a while now.
Oh
He's
yeah.
whining
This is
about
more of the
her.
same here.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. I mean, I love the comments. You know, it's fine. dude, what's wrong with you?
Okay, that's exactly the reason why I say the motivations on the movie work better for me, because this Thanos all the time looks pathetic. He just looks pathetic. The other Thanos looks crazy as hell, looks fucking freaky as hell. He's a goddamn psychopath that wants to do something horrible for what he thinks is good, and that shows us how much stupid his vision of good is compared to
I still like
just
this one because
yeah.
he is crazy.
Oh,
He is
here
absolutely
he is
crazy.
absolutely bonkers. The issue is that he looks so pathetic all the time, and I kind of feel for him. This gives me at moments the sensation of, dude, stop that. Let's get a beer. You need it. And I should
Okay.
not feel that for Thanos. I need to be scared of Thanos, and this Thanos sometimes, just sometimes, like in this couple of pages, he goes too far. He's like, dude,
This is where
chill.
Thanos starts to piece it together. And he's like, "Oh, okay. I'm starting to see a little bit of the error of my ways.
Mhm.
I now see what I really, really need to do." And that's when he starts to connect the dots on what he needs to do. And this is where the turn starts to happen. As we were having the last few pages, kind of just have Thanos dabbling on about validation. This is where it starts to take a big turn, a drastic, heavy, dramatic turn. Because then after him, like, oh, you're wrong for doing this, and all of a sudden he's just like, oh, hold up, maybe I was wrong about this. And you know what? That's my fault. So you know what? I get what you want now. I got you. I think I got it now. And he goes for
the thing is, issue 2 and issue 3, he will keep mopping for her, even though he does exactly what she wanted. He is still mopping, and that's the thing that I don't like.
I don't disagree with you, Pablo. I just think in the movie wasn't any good either because the movie was a dumb environmental.
Oh yeah,
but anyway.
That's absolutely. But the way that he's just focused on killing, here is not focused on killing. He forgets about killing until this point. He doesn't remember even that he has to kill half of the universe. He's just, I want pussy.
Right.
And sorry, mate, that doesn't work.
Of the comic. Right. It's a very fundamental flaw of this story, and just that doesn't change the movie being messed up. But yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Motivation. One of the things I do like here to because while he's still around, the servant, who is the voice, who is the opposition that Thanos has to deal with.
He just killed him.
Oh yeah, but I mean, just the juxtaposition between those two, where Thanos is talking up about how everything I do is to serve you, to love you, and then here's the servant saying, your love's a prison." This
exactly.
He's finally getting to a point where it's like, you know what? No, if I got to go through you, you're gone. You're out of my way. Death, you need to talk to me directly yourself. I'm not going through your middleman nonsense. I'm not playing these stupid games where I try to call you and then you hang up and you call me back.
No, but the issue is that Thanos did not understand. The servant was being completely clear. she doesn't want a prison. She doesn't want something that is superior to her to be her basically whole existence. That's what
Uh-huh.
Thanos wants. No, she wants to be free because death takes everybody the same. She doesn't care about any position. She doesn't care about anything. She can take Galactus. Well, technically, Galactus is from another universe, so she will be the death from that universe, so she can kill Galactus. Anyway, avoiding the multiverse stuff thing. Death can literally take out any of the most powerful beings on the universe, even in the multiverse, let's be honest. And Thanos is no superior to her. She's bound to Thanos. That's what she don't like. And the servant is, your love is a prison. Yeah, stop being a prison. She wanted you. She wanted Thanos. She brings back Thanos from death. Thanos was completely gone.
Mhm.
But she needed somebody like Thanos to be her faithful servant. Now Thanos is no longer a servant. That's the issue. That's the whole problem. But he doesn't listen.
No, he's not a good listener. Even though this is right about the moment where he starts to get a little bit of his alpha back, and he does the snap.
There's not.
And this is where everything now changes with the book. So this is a very important, dramatic moment, even because you think, okay, there's a snap. He's gonna do the deed now. That changes everything. And this is looking at these pages, you really feel that that heaviness sink right back into where you start at the beginning. We were thinking about the words about being all powerful and invincible. It feels like it's getting really heavy again. I feel like the tension is definitely back up on the rise here because you just see Spider-Man being in New York City and he's realizing, oh hey, there's a no New York City crowd. And he's gonna know New York City better than anyone because he web slings
Mhm.
around town. And for him to have a now you see it, now you don't, that has to be a big mindfuck. Imagine just being in his position and just to see something and
Yes.
it to be there like it's just part of your everyday life, and then boom, it's not. And for me, this is a little chilling because there's even a panel where the lady's just like, "Where's my baby?" type of thing. I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
this is really serious." No one of a specific type of demographic is left off the table. Whether you're a child, you're a superhero, nothing is left off the table. You realize this is serious, this is real, and he's thinking this hold on, is this just around here?
Yeah.
What's going on? There's a lot to process here, and this would straight up freak me the fuck out if I had this happen to me in my life. This is a really chilling couple of pages. I
Mhm.
feel the heaviness sink right back in. Like I'm just like, damn, this is downright nuts. So
And it
that's
goes
where I'm
beyond.
at with this. Go ahead, go for
Well,
it,
he doesn't.
Pablo.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, Chloe, go ahead, please.
Oh, no, I was just going to say one thing. He doesn't explain, like in the movie, where what is why he's doing the snap, or that it's going to be. Remember, he says that it's going to be random, it could be anybody. That's his whole calculation about it. Because rich, poor, whatever, it could be anybody that can snap. He just doesn't tell you that when he snaps. It just says half the people. It's weird. So, or
Yeah,
beings, actually, half the beings,
half
half of
of
life.
the intelligent beings, and that's something that they say
Not
here
even that.
that they don't.
Animals
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
cows and other quote
Right.
unquote intelligent. I don't know how much you can say that a cow
Sentient
is.
beings, and now it's the
Yeah,
animals and shit too.
but it was
Animals.
not the way that they say it on the books. I read it twice. That's why I'm saying it. It's not the sentient beings. Later they say sentient beings on the second issue, but on the first issue is intelligent beings. So basically,
Yeah.
Thanos is going to kill anything that can really feel emotions or something like that. That's
Any
why
living
cows
being.
and everything disappears. But
Yeah.
the situation is so big, so strong that the Spidey sense, the spider sense on Spidey gets
Right.
so extremely how would you say that, overwhelmed by what's going on, that he faints. He actually faints. That's part of the panels. He just drops into a random roof because he can no
Right.
longer keep concentration over all the death happening.
Yeah. On a side note, you don't see Perez Spidey too often.
Yeah,
That was something
that's
I
true.
did want to mention earlier. Is that his Spider-Man looks great.
Oh yeah, love it.
Mhm.
And you don't see him. He never really regularly handled the character that much. It didn't do his own titles or which is this is a side issue. But yeah, hey Joe.
Mm. So basically, is that the fact that if you didn't recognize what the snap was, what it meant really, because how do you think about half of the life on the universe? How do you even fathom that? Your mind cannot
Mhm.
comprehend. But if it's something that
Right.
strong that can make the spider sense basically shut off Spider-Man, then you notice, oh fuck, it's something that big. Because it's not that the snap is fainting Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
Is the actual spider sense. It's like if you see a light that strong that knocks you out, or a sound always strong that knocks you out, it's
Uh-huh.
basically that, but life on the universe. That's what the Spider-Man is feeling. So yeah, that's a
Or
different context.
yes,
Cool.
it is. What's up, Joel's Atmosphere? I see you there.
Good Joe.
And I love how not only you get the Captain America's perspective with the Avengers,
Mhm.
and you see even Cersei there from the Eternals there hanging out, being part
Yep,
of the
Cersei's
team.
there.
And
Yeah.
this is for me is hard to see because Cap really values his friends. And for him to see his
Right.
friends just go right in front of his eyes, it's the ultimate like Cap is a guy who wants to be helpful no matter what at the end of the day. And to see Cap being helpless is like that
Yeah, it was
hurt to
pretty
look at, man. It
disturbing.
hurt to look at. We got have a go at that one, Klobby. What that was like to see all that, especially way back when.
Oh, it was pretty effective. Like, well, of course, it's Cap. And again, we're getting to see for the first time in a long time Perez handling the Avengers again. He hadn't for many years at this point.
Uh-huh.
So it was kind of cool to see that. But yeah, it's a fascinating scene. It's a brutal. I love that shot right there where you got the picture of the original team on there, and then the '80s team. You see that shot with the Cap sitting at the station, or no, walking by the pictures. Actually, sorry, that was pretty cool. But yes, it was a pretty emotional scene altogether. Looking at it right now, and I wasn't reading the current Avengers comic at that point, and so when I saw Cersei there, I was like, what, whatever. And there's of course Hawkeye, and boom, they're gone. And yes, tough scene. Um, to be continued on that one though, because it just leaves you there.
Yeah.
I will not make jokes about Hawkeye and
Nick
his
Fury.
real worst enemy because current situation. But let's just say, if you have seen The Simpsons, the episode of Mr. Plower, yeah, Hawkeye don't like that episode anymore.
No.
I don't have seen it.
If
Jeremy
you don't
Renner's
get it,
profile removal.
yep, exactly. His
But
accident was a plower, so
So-
That's weird. Wow. Yeah. Gotcha.
I like those. I like those couple panels of him walking past the photos of the Avengers because
Yeah, I
it
love that.
kind of helps remind you that they're here, rather that
Uh-huh.
they're heroes in this world, and that once the snap happens and you start realizing what's happened, you can kind of have in the back of your head that maybe the Hulk is gone, maybe Iron Man, maybe Beast or Miss Marvel.
It really made you feel
Yep.
no one was off the table. It really
Yeah.
did. These panels really did. Like once again, when I mentioned about the baby, and then Spider-Man shouting for Mary Jane, like all these panels here. Also, like the way Perez drew Strange earlier to the side. I love the side thing with Captain America with the flag in the background too. I thought that was a really cool
yeah, the
angle as
shield.
well. Dude, the shield looks big and good
But-
there.
Okay,
You mentioned that because you also don't see a lot. I mentioned Perez Spidey's a rarity. You also don't get to see a lot of Perez Doctor Strange. So that's one another cool things about this book, or Surfer. So yeah,
There's
go ahead.
something really important about people disappearing from Captain America's side. Why? Because why Captain America uses, and this is something that they have stated on the comics, why does he uses a shield, not a sword or a gun?
It's so he can protect.
Exactly. But what is the meaning of a shield when you cannot protect people from just disappearing in front of your eyes? That's the real
Exactly.
tragedy, and that's why he focused so much on the shield. He needs to remind you what Captain America is all about, so it hits harder. And there's something more about the emotional weight that they put on these panels. Spider-Man screaming Mary Jane. That's exactly. He's thinking about anything else. And then it clicks. If anybody can die, the person that I love most,
Yeah,
Mary Jane.
Yeah,
And then in
that's
that
a
moment,
Mary Jane.
very heavy
nothing,
panel.
nothing
Yeah.
else matter.
And that's the weight of these panels, these few panels and the next few too, is they present you
Right.
to Spider-Man in a situation where he's seeing what's going on and he's just who I love, who I need to see that is fine. But Captain America, that he is a defender in the proper sense of the meaning, he is a shield for the world. He cannot do anything. He just see them disappear. He can no longer be a
Yeah.
protector. Why? This is bigger than him.
Yep, so much bigger. It shows you that, as you said, no one is saved, no one is sacred from this. And when you see Captain America, the people who he loves working with on a daily basis, we take away Spider-Man with the woman that he loves, yeah. And of course, the mom, even the baby, all of this is really chilling to see happen. You realize, wow, this is a very deep moment. This is very dark. Even
And
obviously, the colors of it look magnificent, but
mhm,
just the moment of it, this a really unsettling atmosphere here.
I want to respond to Dyrus on the chat. He says MJ, not Aunt May. That will, well, this is the thing. In that situation, you are basically prioritizing based on who comes to your mind first. Mary Jane will be obvious because at this
His
point
wife.
Oh, of course.
they are married, they have a family, they were supposed to think about having kids at least on this era. They were establishing a life. So yeah, that's the first person that will come to your mind because is the first person that you see every day. Oh, no worries.
Oh,
Yeah, but I wanted to make that point clear because I think it's actually really important. Is
Oh, agreed.
uh, you have to prioritize. And if you have ever been in an earthquake or a situation like that, you will know that you start thinking about the people based on first who you have near the most, and second who you can save more easily.
Yeah.
Because let's say if there's somebody that is really late on age, right? It's more difficult to evacuate them than if you have a bunch of kids. Also, the kids will be more movable. They will be all the time running and screaming and everything. The older person will stay put. So that may be an advantage depending on the situation. You need to prioritize, you need to see who you rescue first. I think Spidey did great thinking about Mary Jane. Still,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Aunt May is a collateral on that situation. That's one of the situations where the Spider-Man only can save one. And
Yep.
it needs to be a cosmic level event to put him on that situation because if not, he will try to save both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to Zax. How you doing, dude? Thanks for dropping in here. And yes, this is David Hasselhoff, Nick Fury, by the way.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna let Klobby have the floor with these pages. Klobby, obviously you see Captain America. He's seeing what's happened with Hawkeye and Cersei, and then you got Nick Fury here as he's with Val. Like that.
Yes. Great
Go ahead and
stuff.
go for
Of
it.
course, obviously, I'd say, yeah, well, pretty much like you just described, we're now at the stage where things are starting to affect the Marvel Universe heroes. Cap, of course, devastated at the Avengers uh, uh, headquarters up in the orbiting, the orbiting, or I guess Shield. I don't know if it's orbiting. Looks like it's in space. Shield helicarrier. There's Nick Fury, real deal Nick. Oh man, I gotta miss him. And Vanessa, this is beautiful page, great art again. They're just basically nothing but exposition about something's going wrong. What is happening? He's talking to the president. We don't know, Mr. President. As soon as I know, you'll know. And that's it. We learned nothing from the panel, but it's still nice. And it is showing now they're starting to introduce players for the story. Upcoming, we move beyond that and we see some more exposition about what's going on. And we see Smiling Stan's Bar and Grill. I'm not going to get started on that. There's Hulk.
You talk about Cloudy. That's your favorite. That's your favorite place to go.
It's my favorite. That's right. So, again, context for everybody. This was when the Hulk by Peter David. This was around the time, coincidentally, when he had kind of Bruce Banner's mind in Hulk's body. For those, in case you didn't know, this is when in the thick of the Peter David run.
Yeah, but this is not Professor Hulk, right?
No,
this is
not
other
really.
kind of Hulk.
I mean, not particularly. No, he's got Bruce's mind though. He's smart.
Yeah, because there's that Hulk, there's Professor Hulk, and there's Grey Hulk. And Grey
But
Hulk
Mr.
also
Fix-It was He's not Mr. Fix-It though. This is just smart, Bruce Hulk.
Okay, interesting.
With the deepest V-neck ever.
That explains a lot actually on this issue.
Yeah, so. As you can see, because he's pretty angry. He says, so it's happening everywhere, not just here on Broadway, and not just to Rick, but the Abomination is involved somehow. So that's where I start. So now, no one knows what's going on. So they think it's just some villain doing some stuff it's curious, but they know nothing yet. And you move on to more exposition. I'll stop in a second, Nick, if you want, but just now we're on the Skrulls. The Skrull reacting.
We'll go over to it.
Yes, the universe is now reacting. So go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Strange, the Hulk. I love how Hulk thinks it's the Abomination. I actually did have a bit of a chuckle at that. I'm like, oh, that's great. He says the Abomination, and yeah, you see how it's even affecting the Skrulls, and it brings it back to the cover when we shows you that everyone is potentially affected, is affected by this in some capacity, whether
they all think it's something else,
or it's a survivor, and they're all thinking like what's going on, or as you say, Clubby, they think it's something else because this is a lot to process for people. Like this is not just your everyday scenario, and this is where Surfer goes into absolute freak out mode about this because now he realizes, oh crap, the damage is done, dude. Like
because the Skrull
we
thinks
need to
it's
figure
the
out a
Kree.
plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
The Skrull, yeah, you're right. They do. Yeah. This is really all important stuff.
That was one of the things I think that the comic does better than the movies. It's that with the movies, after the snap happened, it was like, oh, we're suddenly in the future, and now, oh, everything is better. They're even like saying like, yeah, no, the world wasn't better because of Thanos. Whereas here, you're getting a more realistic like approach of with no one knowing what just happened. Everyone starts assuming everything about it. It was their biggest enemy. Like the Skrulls think it was the Kree. The Kree think it was the Skrull. You're gonna have probably at this time probably still some lingering stuff from the Soviet Union.
Here's the big difference. Here's the big difference. The Avengers on the movies work basically like an international organization that is well established, funded by all the governments and everything, right? So immediately everything happened. There will be, if not Captain America, somebody else on the team calling what just happened, all the people that are disappearing. Yeah, that was Thanos. Let people know. Let people know we fucked
cheated
up.
Because first of all, the movie's cheated because after the snap, that's it. Boom, over. Then the next movie, it's 5 years later. We see no repercussions of any depth. Nothing. We don't see anything chronicled about how things went right after the snap happened because that would take 5 movies.
I completely agree on that. We needed a couple movies
That would
during
take
the
5
snap.
movies to explain it. But yeah.
Yeah, easily. But if you think about how the organization works on the internet era, on the technology that Tony Stark has developed, on that situation, on that movie, if half of people on Earth disappeared, trust me, there's somebody already on the phone talking to the media, telling them exactly what happened
Right.
and what they need to do. Why? Because that's the kind of organization that the Avengers are on the MCU. On the comics, they are completely independent. So
But then
there's
you're going to have people
no
who aren't going to believe that, though. You
Actually,
would then
remember
have
they're still not run by, and they're not really run by the government, even at that
that's
point in
the word.
Infinity War, because they all quit. Remember?
No. Basically, the base that they are operating in, when they go with Vision and everything, is still part of the Avengers of the international organization, the Avengers. When they
Which
go to Wakanda, they leave Wakanda, but obviously they are still part of the organization. There hasn't been any official decree or anything that they show that tell us that everybody was fired. So until
they've
that
been
point,
hiding for a couple of years
oh,
after Civil
but
War.
that's not for Rhodes. Rhodes was an Avenger, was working on the Avengers.
Well,
And
Rhodes was there, yeah, but everybody else was broken up all over the place. Yeah.
yeah, but what I mean is they are an institution. They will have the personnel to actually do that kind of communication, especially, well, is even in Wakanda. Wakanda, they have the king of Wakanda there that in this version of the universe is supposedly one of the biggest countries on the planet. They will also go with the phone instantly. So there's enough communication on that version of
Well,
the universe that they will be able to say to everybody Thanos did this.
well, nobody would have
but
known
even
anything.
then,
But
though.
remember, the
But
first to
even then,
find
though,
out because Bruce Banner called Steve Rogers to tell him what happened.
No, I say after the snap.
Oh
That
yeah, I was talking. Yeah,
why people disappeared, it will be in the media
sure.
immediately.
No, yeah, but I'm saying they don't chronicle it. Is all I'm saying, and it's like it's
Yeah.
cheating.
And there's some things that I wanted to see that they do in Spider-Man No Way Home extended edition for some reason about the snap.
Okay.
What happened to people, what the shit happened with a lot
Right.
of careers, with lives. Maybe
Yeah.
in Doctor Strange 2, they barely touch on that, but I wanted to see the world during the snap. If they had a series during the snap with a
I think
street
Secret
level.
Invasion is actually supposed to take place during it. Not that I'm like
Mm.
interested in it, but I did
Yeah.
get word about it that it does take place during the snap.
I
So
hate
That's
make of
gonna be
Secret
that what
interesting.
you
I hate the
will.
5-year
Yeah,
gap.
Secret Invasion is a completely stupid story to show that you need a street
Yes,
level
sir.
superhero because you
Yes,
need to show the
agreed.
world. You need to show the people on the street how they are suffering, what is happening. Just think about okay, this is a conversation that I had with somebody. What if a woman is pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and she
Yeah.
disappears? Does the baby falls to the ground? Just
Oh boy, that starts an argument. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
that's a whole other can of worms that we go
I
down the
understand.
hole.
exactly.
That's
The,
that's a
the thing
whole
I
other
would
can of worms.
the,
I
I
the
know.
problem
understand.
though is there's stuff there that just isn't being addressed. Like now the Avengers are gonna suddenly come out and tell people that like a dude with a magic gauntlet just made half of the entire universe disappear. There are gonna be 1,000 conspiracy theories come up with an infinite reasons for
Oh
why
yeah.
that is. That is a story in and of itself. A conspiracy theorist who becomes a supervillain trying to get down to the bottom of what he's convinced happened.
Uh-huh.
It's a mess. I hate the 5-year
But
gap.
let's get back to the
Anyway,
comic.
let's get back to the comic.
Yeah, we'll
Hell
go
with
back
the
to
movies.
comic. Yeah, because like I said, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
What's up, volume dealer? So yeah, anyways, and this is where you see once again. So we learned that regular neighborhood heroes affected, sorcerers and godlike surfer power cosmic is affected by this. You see obviously the scrolls are affected, and now you got obviously Eros is affected. Drax, when they see Eros sees his father go, and that's when they realize, whoa, what the hell? Of course, we also saw the Hulk. No, the strongest there is. Everyone's. I like how Drax was
Wong's
watching
gone.
Elf. That made my day. Seeing the Elf panel.
Mhm.
I thought about Mexican Iron Man when I saw that. I'm like, oh, hey, Mexican Iron Man's favorite character right there on screen. I wonder how he's doing. But you realize Drax is not thrilled. Everyone's losing mind. This is once again, everyone's getting really, really emotional and realize, oh crap, this is not good here. Whatever the hell this is going. I like how all the eyes. I like the touch of all the eyes right there, and then even
Yes.
Thanos' eye right there,
No,
and how
that
Thanos
Thanos
rose.
panel.
It's kind of like a Thanos.
Yes.
It just it feels like, dude, that's heavy,
No,
man. That's
that
powerful.
That
that
it echoes
panel,
throughout
that
time and
face of
space.
Thanos, with the eyes shining. That's the
That's
most powerful image on the
incredible
whole
page.
comic.
Hmm. That's a YouTube
Agreed.
thumbnail before
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
thumbnails.
Yeah, seriously, that is a YouTube thumbnail. I love this. So
Brilliant
Flobby, I definitely like your input on these last few pages right here. Like to see like the reaction of it being Thanos, and then of course carrying over to the characters that we finally get some more context into.
Yes, we're starting to see some more fallout. We see Surfer's feeling it. He's feeling what's going on. He's trying to implore Strange. Doesn't, and we lose Wong. We lose. We start to see some discord between Drax, real Drax, and Firelord, and all this kind of stuff. And like you say, that panel just is so terrific. But yeah, we're getting towards the end. Then we move on to our friends at the hotel, the motel. These weirdos with these new bodies that were in the bodies of these whatchamacallit, these thugs that ran off the cliff. And one of them
Yep.
is a green lady, other one is a troll,
Yep.
and the other one is
Awfully strange.
him. Is him or what? Maybe. Well, because we don't know. Bum bum bum. Because the comic's over.
Yep. Yep. It's like you gotta wait
Who's
and
that?
find out.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I remember when I first saw that cocoon. I'm like,
Yes.
bro,
I wonder who that is.
bro. And then it
So-
all makes sense. It all comes together, and that is
Well,
a great ending cliffhanger.
yeah.
That is just like, okay, now this is all
Right.
come together.
Yep.
The stage has now been set now with this issue. Go ahead, Caster, sign off on your thoughts on these last few pages.
Just for kind of final thoughts. These three here are just such an odd juxtaposition to all the other action, but it shows that even like among what seems like these three key characters that they seemingly killed and brought right back, not even they're safe. That truly anything could happen with this series. That if suddenly Hawkeye disappears, if Mary Jane is in like genuine danger like that, we have no idea what's going on. Having read this when I did, like I remember the first time I read this, like I had no idea who Adam Warlock was. So I'm looking at the cocoon like, what's all this? And it's taking me back to all that.
Yeah.
And all the buildup. Thanos has like snapped away half the universe. We have these strange mystery characters, and we have this dude in a cocoon on a bed. And then we're gonna go from bad to worse. What's going next? Like, I gotta go to the comic shop next week. I gotta pick this up. I gotta stick around for this. How do you top this?
They tried. They tried with many events. That sucked.
Yeah.
Well, top it with issue 2, but we'll get there.
We'll get there in 1 week. Might we add? Pablo, I know you got some stuff to say on this before we wrap this issue up.
There's a reason why this is an all-time classic. just the way that it presents everything, the way that it shows you with the graphics and with the extreme decor of Mephisto talking, and the way that every single character has their own voice and their own situation, and that shows you the way that puts you in the situation on this universe is really something incredible. What they did with Infinity Gauntlet is difficult to just explain how influential this was on the industry as a whole, but also
Mm-hmm.
how much this inspired other artists to just go weirder and crazier.
Mm-hmm.
That era kind of died with Alan Moore. Thanks, Alan Moore. But anyway, this is a moment where you actually see things moving along on a speed that is just incrementing. At the beginning, the comic is slow. It just shows you what is going on. It gives you an explanation and lets you sink in on what's going on. And after the snap, everything starts moving on full speed, and you can no longer stop it. And you can feel
Yeah.
it when you get to the last page. You actually think that the book should go at least the double in size,
Oh
because
yeah,
it
it helps
it
that they
lets you,
had a bigger
yeah,
page count because it helps build the transition to when it starts to ramp up a lot more natural and smoother. Because it's like you're going from driving a Toyota Corolla and be like, no, oh crap, hey, look at that Corvette over there, and then
yep.
boom, you're in the Corvette.
Obviously, I have a different point of view on a lot of the shit that happens. I have even a more cynical way of viewing things. Like in this one, Thanos is not nihilistic;
Hmm.
he's just a simp. So that's my main issue. He believes in love and death. You are no longer nihilistic. You believe in something. Nihilism, you believe in nothing. But even at that, him just being crazy and off and weird works so well for this. Is the union of all the bits that make this comic great. And in the first issue, they just show you the starting positions for everyone and make you interested.
Hmm.
Is magic. So
Hmm.
there's a reason why this is so influential, and it should keep being influential for a long time.
Well
Basically, that will be
stated,
it.
Pablo. As always, this is unshocking for me how well you say these things, and it's all so well told and how it all comes back together, man.
Thanks, brother.
No, thank you, dude. Seriously, it really is, and yeah, it has held the test of time, and it does exactly what a number one needs to do. It needs to let you know who the key players are, what's going on, who it affects, and then leaves you the big tease of wanting more. And of course, we have had the absolutely god level art of George Perez on here. There's some splash pages hand here that are just eye candy for days. And even the smaller panels where you have the select color with the black and white was amazing to look at too on the small panel, because to see the smaller moments and the big moments have equal attention to details is awesome to see, because the smaller moments count just as much as the big ones. And the way the story is told, as I said earlier, with evil poeticism, is very well written too. So everyone really brought their absolute A+ game to this book. It's a phenomenal piece of comic book,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
great stuff. And it's just beginning.
and it's just beginning. And guys, this ride's just beginning. We got 5 more weeks of this. Next week, of course, it's obvious. A lot of you stuck around here. Obviously, you know the deal here. We're gonna talk the Infinity Gauntlet number 2 next week. And now that we kind of have a feel of how to work this format with the single issue, we were kind of figuring out as we went along, but now we know how to handle it for the next episode and the ones going forward. We know how to make this work, and it's going to be great. And we're going to continue to have much fun. A lot more theories and discussion about what could have been, what could have been not been. Of course, we'll have the inevitable movie comparisons. And guys, chat, I love seeing the comments. I love you guys sounding off. This awesome to see. This is what we want. We want to see the thoughts on what could have been with Thanos and the side characters. It's going to get. I know it's good. The conversations are definitely going to really ramp up when we get more Adam Warlock. I know they're going to ramp up, and that's where we're going to get hot. Well, that's where it's going to get really hot. And I'm looking forward to it all the way. So I thank you guys for hanging out with us. What's up?
We're going to do a deeper dive into Adam Warlock at some point.
Yeah, at this
When
point,
we do our Adam Warlock run, when we talked during the meeting,
Yeah.
we're going to do our Adam Warlock
we'll get
run.
there.
We are doing, aren't we?
because
we're gonna come,
at
man.
this
One of these
at this
days.
point, at this point on the comics, he's basically god level being, but he has been lower on the scale and he has been higher on the scale.
You guys are great at these comments. No, guys, thank you. I love how a lot of you hung out here the entire time, too. That's freaking awesome. Thank you guys for that. Seriously, 2.5 hours in a day and age of the attention spans of like Instagram Reels and TikToks. I'm just saying, even if maybe you guys don't use it, I'm just trying to make a comparison. The fact that you guys stuck around with us, that's fucking awesome. And the fact you were willing to sit with us and take our time and just looking and admiring and just, just talking over it. Some of the stuff was deep dive, some of it was an overview. And that's the fun of that. We can do that with these pages. So I thank you guys for hanging out with us and supporting this. So yes, we will be back next week with issue number 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet. I thank you guys, even if you're here for a little bit. Thank you as well. Do appreciate it. This is a very fun show to do, and it's only going to get wilder. And I have 5 picoseconds for Canadian $5. Says 8 out of 10 needs pregnant Thanos to be honest. Oh, you went down that well. And thank you for lurking. And I'm glad this could be a thing that you guys can relook at. And the fact that you choose the dudes, that means a lot. So next week we'll make sure it's as fun, maybe a little bit smoother, and it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait to talk about issue 2 next week. So all right, guys, we're gonna let you gentlemen plug your channels, and we're gonna get on out of here. We're starting off with the Iron Caster.
So you can find me on my channel, Ironcaster, where on Thursdays I'm now starting to delve into something a little positive for a change, doing a little Kamen Rider, and I'm finding all kinds of cool stuff, like the fact that they did a freaking KFC ad. Check this out.
I love
The explosion is chicken.
I love it.
You're looking good.
Wow.
Oh, and I'll also be on T-Shirt Historian's channel tomorrow for the Week in Geek, where, oh boy, did Wizards of the Coast royally screw up, and literally everyone is freaking out.
Again?
Like, apparently they're looking to revoke the open game license, the OGL, that has caused basically half the industry to survive.
They gonna get sued by everybody.
Yeah, so it's like when Blizzard did Warcraft 3 and they tried to take away all of the the fan content mode, and say that Blizzard owns anything you made.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
not.
bad. This
Yeah.
is really bad with what happened there. But yeah, check that out. I'm gonna try to bring some more positivity out, but sometimes there is the stuff that we gotta ring alarm bells over. So
I don't know. Pretty positive
Oh,
about
of
that fried
course.
chicken there.
okay,
Yep.
Tell you what,
As am I.
I'll get myself out of here. You can enjoy that, and then you can move on.
Nice.
All right, Caster. Thank you, as always, sir, for being a part of the show. It's been awesome. It's been great. I love looking at fried chicken. We could basically just look at this all day, and it'll make chicken look like, as TZ Burton said, like a bomb going off. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Later.
TC, if you want to see memes about food used as explosion, look for a game called Mighty Number 9, the pepperoni explosions. And I'm not joking, the explosions look like pepperoni. They actually made a joke about that on their Twitter. That's why the game went to hell. That, and they did a commercial about anime nerds crying. Yeah, that game was something, but pepperoni explosions, it exists.
All right. Thank you, Caster. Pablo.
Hey, mi mensaje español. Tomorrow on the morning, we will be talking about random stuff because first day of the year, there's a lot of crazy shit going on already. 2023, do you need a break, a coffee, something? Just wait a minute. But other than that, Geek Tropology, where I'm not sure what exactly I'm doing, but this month I will be streaming something. And other than that, just enjoy, brothers. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, sir. Thank you as always. Looking forward to next week. We're gonna have a lot of fun this year.
Oh,
We're just
Yeah,
getting
buddy.
started. All right, man.
Yeah, buddy.
And guys, for everyone in the chat, if in case you're somehow not sub to Pablo, Wirecast, or Clobbered, I have all their names in the description. If you literally just click on them, I have them all tagged. You just go on there, and it'll straight up send you to those channels, all of them. And yes, Midnight's Edge is a great channel, and
Yes,
Tom
yes.
is amazing.
Tom's
And
the
I
best.
don't know how he does it either. The fact that Tom
I
is
will tell. Okay, I will tell you his secret. He never sleeps.
yeah,
That's for sure. They sure don't.
between Mead Radio and then the 800 shows he hops on, 3
Mhm.
days of Midnight's Edge in the morning. Then there's the 4K for you. There's his A-rated B movies, B-rated A movies, and then now there's his Sunday night show, and the 2 Mead shows, and there's Toxic Tuesday, which he frequents on, and the fact that he works his shows to accommodate for other shows, and then Fanzine too,
Unreal.
like. Tom is Tom is such, not only is he a funny guy, great dude, super insightful and knowledge, but the fact that he does what he does to help out everyone the way he does is a
Tom's
debt that
amazing.
no matter
Oh,
how
yeah.
much I will try, I can never pay. But I will at least keep on trying for him. He really is amazing, and we're happy to
Yes.
have him here. And he's definitely part of the family, that's for sure. Like anytime he's around, like, hey, if you got comic show off, you're always welcome, and he knows that. So yeah, shout out to Tom Connors always, because that man, what a dude. If you're listening out
He's
there,
one of the
Tom,
best of us.
you
Yep.
are you truly are one of the best of us. Thank you for all that you do. Claw-B.
Well, thanks for having me, buddy. Appreciate it.
As
As always, it's been fantastic. Great to hang out with my good buddies on the comic shop panel and wonderful friends in the chat. Let's see, tomorrow night, Saturday night, Star Trek number 100. So we kick off the year with
Wow.
bringing back Saturday night Star Trek. It happens to be our 100th episode of that. And well, next Thursday night, my 500th episode on YouTube, which means my 2000th overall. That's weird. Anyway, but not
Good
2000,
numbers.
1400, or well, I don't know what number it is. I lose track. But anyway, so what was I saying? Nothing of interest. No. Thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Appreciate you. But I'll have same Trek time, same Clobby channel on Saturday Night Star Trek tonight. We'll start back reviewing. We're in the 4th season of Deep Space Nine, 4 more episodes. So, and then Sunday night, by the way, I should mention him because he's your engineer on Toxic Tuesday. The great Mark D with the C should be returning for Sunday Night Geekery. So if you're up late on a Sunday night, and you want to see some geeks shooting the shite about basic nothing but geek stuff, 10 p.m. Eastern on Mark D with the C's channel. You should all subscribe to that. He has some great shorts of toys and all that other kind of stuff, and he's a good friend of both Nick and myself, and we have a lot of fun. So yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Claudia, as always. Have a great
Thank you,
weekend.
buddy.
Congratulations on 100 episodes of Saturday Night
Thank you.
Trek.
Thank you.
You got some landmark numbers you're going to hit, and that
Yeah.
is amazing. And I know we obviously we got a lot of stuff coming up together in the next several
Yeah,
weeks.
buddy.
So I'm looking forward to each and every bit of it. Have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you as always.
Thank
Between
you.
Mead and here, and then whatever additional shows we do. Until then, my friend.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Gwadnar had a one last comment I want to highlight. I remember the conversation in the comic shop when this was originally released, and we try to at least give a little bit of a feel of that, as if it's just guys hanging out the shop, discussing, dissecting. That's all it is. Obviously, we're not 1991. We're 32 years later. Yeah, 32 years later. That's funny. I swear I didn't intend for that to happen, but it did. That's all it's about. It's made to feel like we're at a shop, but online, so that we try to capture somewhat of the atmosphere. Obviously, it'll never be like that, but we at least try to have that fun atmosphere, at least the same type of fun. So hopefully the message comes across. But guys, once again, next week Infinity Gauntlet #2, Fire and Ice next week, Toxic Tuesday. It's gonna be great. And I'll just put out there because we're promoting this one ahead in advance. Episode 75 of Toxic Tuesday, February 21st, because it's a ways away, but we're promoting early for this one because it's a big one. We'll be talking one of the greatest movies of all time called Wayne's World. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Excellent.
just one of
Cool.
those things where it's just like you like Wayne's World or you're wrong. So, Wayne's
That's fair
World,
enough.
big time, it's set up in advance. I will have a video out Monday. I was hoping to record today, but life happened and got busy. So I'll have a video up Monday. If I'm lucky, I might even have 2 videos up next week. So now that I'm doing videos again, my last video did really well. I'm very thankful for. Got a lot of new subs from it. And yeah, you can find me on Midnight's Edge After Dark frequently. Clubby's there too. And of course, Yelling at Park Cars on Thursday night throwdown with Comics Division. So, tomorrow night afternoon, I'll be hanging out with Jacob from Society Reviews. Be me, him, Christian Toto, and a few others. We'll be talking the best and worst of 2022 in the cinemas. So, anyways, with that all said, good night. All right. And yes, we're finally going to have an outro and intro. Thank you to Mr. Grant Gregory. It's finally going to come. We're going to come. All right. But until then, you got to deal with me just saying we're done.